Stand up, New York Giant fans. What's going on, Baddog?
What is going on, Tainah? What's going on, everybody in the chat? Welcome aboard. Let me just say, Sports Expert, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says, sorry, I haven't donated in a while, but man, cheers. You don't ever need to apologize for not donating, guys. The fact that you're here, that is enough. We appreciate you guys. Like I said in the comment section of my community notes today, I mean, I know I can speak for Chris when I say we are incredibly appreciative of all the support you've shown us during this downtime in sports, watching the videos, coming into our live streams and supporting the show that we have. It means the world to us. So thank you guys for doing that. Appreciate it. I hope you guys will have a safe 4th of July weekend, of course.
Yeah, it's been incredible. The way that you guys have still supported our channels, even in the dullest of times. I said it in my video yesterday. It's you guys still watching our videos when really there's not a whole lot to talk about. We don't even know if we're going to have a football season. Obviously, we're trying to be optimistic and hope that we're going to. And the NFL seems like they're going to do everything that they can in order to have a season. We were talking before we went live. It's definitive that they've cut the season, the preseason down to 2 games now. And there's rumors that they may be trying to cut all 4 out.
Yeah. Before we get to that, let's say what's up to Damian Ramsey, King, Andy, Daniel, Dixon, Keith, Brock, Kevin Dorafield in the UK tonight. Meet Tarhan, sports expert, our boy, diehard Giants fan. Punkham's in the chat. J Wad is in the chat. Logix, KP, Poppy Chulo chat. Irish New York Sports Hub. Manny Brito, Cushmaster, president of the 420 Club. Jeffrey Kobernick's in the house. Brandon Rogers, Manuel Garcia, Peter Turner, Isaiah Faithful, Crispy Harrison Jolly. Brett Copork, Angel Cotto, Jay Byrne. We got a good crowd tonight, Chris. You guys haven't done so, man. Hit that thumbs up. We got 60 people, 28 likes. Where's Hakeem J? He likes when I make those things go up. Spike that like. And, of course, if you haven't subbed up to the Entertainer, link is in the description. Of course, the banner tells you that that's in the description. But
that's right. I got to get that on when we do this. I don't even know how to do that. You got to tell me.
It's easy. If I can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. But yeah, we were talking off camera that the NFL is definitely strongly considering voting on having no preseason games this year. And of course, that would be a little bit rough. I mean, we've discussed the fact that this is going to be a transition year for a lot of teams. There's a lot of new coaching staffs. There's 3 new coaching staffs in our division alone. And they haven't really had a chance to work with the players and, do the whole face-to-face thing. We have had no mini camps, no OTAs, no rookie camp, no nothing. So it's been tough. And if they don't get in football shape, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen week 1.
Yeah, especially, and it's every team, but particularly the Giants, when you factor in, like you said, you got a brand new coaching staff on both sides, a very young football team. You're going to have a lot of young players that you're asking to have prominent roles on this football team. It's not a veteran team. It's not a team that's accustomed like the Eagles. They know the playbook and everything like that. So the more that you cut the season short in terms of the offseason, the more challenging it's going to be. You have a quarterback learning a brand new system. So it's definitely going to be a tough test for the New York Giants if we do have a season this year, especially if they cut all the preseason games. I would think you would need some kind of contact, some kind of scrimmage or something to get these guys in shape before the season starts, but who knows with the climate the way it is right now.
Right. And that's the thing. I mean, if they're afraid to play preseason games, I mean, what is the difference? I mean, what does 2 weeks make in the grand scheme of things? I mean, is it really make that much of a difference? So, I mean, listen, like you said, I want to be optimistic. I'm hoping there's a football season. I keep saying they're going to lose way too much money. They have to have a football season. This country will riot as a whole if there's no football. So hopefully, whatever's going on, they can figure it out. I mean, it seems like they've been talking about, training camp's going to start on time. They had everything going on time. Everything seemed to be working out. And then when you hear that they might not play any preseason games, now it puts a little doubt in the back of your mind. Sub Loud Superset. What's up, Riot Clans in the house? Johnny Gooch, Sima Singh, Leo the Goat, Mike Marina. What's going on, everybody? Subo23, New York Mets, New York Giants, Giants Alliance, Big Blue Jabroni, John Talento. Got a good crowd here tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Always got a good crowd. Always got the best supporters on YouTube.
True.
Jawad said that apparently there was going to be, yeah, I read that too, Jawad, that there's going to be a limited, it's not going to be a full 90 man either. And they haven't come up with an exact number. It's not going to be 90 men that they invite to training camp. It could be 75. It could be 80. They haven't come up with an exact number. And it'll be interesting to see which players that, obviously the majority of them will be undrafted free agents that probably don't get a camp invite. But I don't think there's a definitive number yet on that. But that'll be an interesting storyline as to which players don't get an opportunity because of that.
Right. I see King Johnny's in that. King Johnny, don't worry. Laker Dog's coming back. Deshaun the Goat's here. Shivam Desai, what's going on? Thanos in house. Kevo, what's going on? Irish New York Sports. Nicholas Osborne, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Rich Rivera. Meat Church, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. That's a new one. I've never seen the Meat Church in any.
The Meat Church.
The Meat Church.
Huh.
Very nice. Preseason is BS. Always has been. This is a gift. Well, I think the biggest thing with the preseason is, these are guys fighting for positions, and that's really why you're doing. Your starters are just kind of getting acclimated. They're warming their muscles up. They're getting ready for the season. But it's your guys, your guys 56 through 90 pretty much that are fighting for position. And that's how these guys find their way onto a team.
Right.
That's the biggest reason we have the preseason games. You do. I agree. I don't think we need 4. I think they could do 3. I think they could do 2, to be honest with you. But it'd be tough because that's, there's a lot more to be said what you see against other teams than you do in practice. So.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. And what Pumpkin just said. What's going on, Pumpkin? Yeah, I don't think the preseason as a whole is BS. But I do think that it's not going to be 4 games going forward. After this year, they already said they're going to cut it to 3. But I do think you would need at least some sort of, because like you said, it's not just the guys at the top of the roster. You have to evaluate the guys that are competing for the back end of the roster. And you do need to see some of those guys in game action to really get a full evaluation on them. Not to mention, you want a guy like Daniel Jones learning a new system to get familiar with it. And develop some chemistry with his wide receivers in the new system. So I do think it's important to have at least 2 preseason games.
Yeah, I completely agree because, like you said, with a new coaching staff and a lot of new players in here, they got to get acclimated to everything. And also it helps them build chemistry with one another because, Jabril Peppers and Xavier McKinney are going to be your safeties. They're not going to have any chemistry going into it. Andrew Thomas and Will Hernandez aren't going to be able to build any chemistry. And that really hurts a team. So, again, I think 4 preseason games is a little much. I don't think the first preseason game really ever mattered.
Right.
The 4th one definitely didn't. The 4th one is really just for position battles.
Well, the 4th one's kind of for the guys trying to make the back end of the roster.
Right.
In terms of the starters, there's no, that's for the recent Johns, the Derek Dillons. That's what the 4th preseason game's for.
Right.
The 3rd game's always the game where the quarterback Jones would play 3 quarters or 2.5 quarters.
Your dress rehearsal game.
Yeah, that's where you get the full assessment of the team. Going into the year. But I was thinking if they're only going to have 2, I would think the Jets game would have to be one of them, just for the simple reason they wouldn't have to travel. If they're going to keep one of the preseason games, you would think the Giants and Jets would be one of them. And you would think they try to keep them as geographically close as possible.
Yep. Well, I heard the Packers was the other one. We haven't played the Packers in the preseason in forever, and I don't know if that's changed or what they're going to decide to do. But like I said, the fact they're looking to get rid of these, just I worry about it. I hear a bunch of cases of college, kids in college football actually trying to catch the virus.
Oh my God, I heard that today. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like,
so they become immune to it. That's why they're trying to do it. There's not going to be a college football season. I have a feeling that will definitely be shut down. I don't see any way feasible that they could have a college football season. I really don't. So, I don't know. I'm getting a little worried though. I am definitely getting a little bit worried when they start talking about this, because the next thing you hear is, there's no training camp. They got to have a training camp. If you're not going to have a training camp, then you can't have football. These guys have got to train somehow. Each other. Meat Church, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. Game plans are vanilla. Players try not to get hurt. The game plans are vanilla because you don't want to show your entire package because teams are looking at film.
Right.
So you don't want to give everything away in a preseason. That's why they are very vanilla game plans. You're not going to see a lot. I don't know about the players trying not to get hurt. I can see the starters not giving it their all. I understand both arguments as far as that goes. I do.
Yeah, I understand his argument. I still think preseason has a purpose. Maybe not all 4 games though, like we said.
Right. Rock and Rob, Brilly, my man. Thank you for the super chat. He says, Baddog, would you rather fight 5 Kid Blue sized
He asked me the same question.
or 1 DWG sized Kid Blue? And who will be better this season, Midget Murray or Danny Dimes? That's a great. Both of those are great questions.
Yeah, I mean the DWG and Kid Blue question is clearly the better one.
Yes. Oh, without a doubt. I would definitely rather fight 5 Kid Blue sized DWGs, and I'll tell you why. Because I know DWG's weaknesses. Okay. So I don't know what Kid Blue would do if he was 6'7". I don't know Kid Blue. Yeah,
he might be the strongest pound for pound guy in the world because he's only about 70 pounds now.
That's with his water weight.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, I know DWG's better season. I hope it's Daniel Jones. I think both of them are going to be top 10 quarterbacks this year. But I've said Kyler Murray's going to be a dark horse MVP. So I'm going to give him the slight edge as to a better season because he has worked with Cliff Kingsbury where Daniel Jones has not worked with Jason Garrett, has not worked. I think Kyler Murray has a little bit of an advantage, and he has DeAndre Hopkins and Larry Fitzgerald. So I'm going to give him the slight edge, but I don't think Daniel Jones will be that far off of him.
Yeah, I think it's tough to measure. Statistically, I think it'll be probably Kyler Murray. I think he's still has the same system he played in last year. He's more familiar with it, especially with the shortened offseason. So he has that advantage. They bring in DeAndre Hopkins, and I just think it's an offense that's going to be better suited to put up numbers for the quarterback position. I think the Giants are going to try to establish the run with Saquon Barkley. So I think Murray's going to have a better opportunity to put up better stats. I personally think going into the year, and I know you're a huge Murray guy, I think Murray's being overhyped a little bit. I saw him as high as 4th for the MVP in the odds. I personally think the Cardinals are being a little bit overhyped. But if you ask me who's going to have the better statistical year, I would probably lean Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Wilkie, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly, a staple on Uncle Lou's channel in the morning. I see him there all the time. He says, what's up, man? Like, what's up, Wilkie? Thank you for the super chat. I thought I saw Delano in here. Steel of Curtains is in the house. And yeah, thank you guys for being here, man. Again, Keith Brock does not like Kyler Murray. Maybe I read that wrong. I thought that said POS.
I think line of script. I mean, I think you mean short passes.
It said LOS. I thought it said POS.
Yeah.
It's like he's not a fan. Not a fan. Al Bats, one of our best, Chris. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Brilly. Haven't seen Al in a while. Of course, I haven't had any problems lately, but now Al knows, that there might be things stirring, so he came back. And Al Bats is my guy in case.
He's the guy we call when we need something done.
Exactly. Al Bats. It doesn't get any better than that. But thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really appreciate this. How are you guys? Hope you're both well and happy 4th. Same to you, Al. Hope you're doing well and happy 4th to you and the fam. Appreciate you being here.
Al's the man. Thank you for being here, Al. And happy 4th to you as well, my man.
Brats, Mansax, how you doing? Nathan Bashiom, Kevin Wall. Peep LG, what's going on, everybody? Again, thank you guys for being here. What's going on, P Money? When is training camp? July 28th.
That's as of now, if nothing changes, which is 3 weeks away now almost. 3.5 weeks away. We will have training camp.
We're supposed to have baseball games tomorrow. You think that's happening?
Well, it's obviously Grapefruit League or spring training games.
Right. Yeah, but I'm saying, you think they're
gonna... I mean, if they haven't said that they're not going to happen, I would think they are.
Yeah,
I haven't heard anything.
I'm not going to be home, otherwise I'd stream the Yankee game. I just can't. I can't wait.
I'm going to take a look at my TV. Maybe I'll stream a Met game. That's something to do.
Yeah, I'm going to I'll watch the Yankee game. I'm going to be at my mother-in-law's house. 4th of July.
Yeah, tomorrow I won't do it, but yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. Tomorrow I can't, but obviously during when obviously outside of the 4th of July, hell yeah. Eric Harwood, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. My good man says both of your Giants season record this year. I think we both said the same thing. Or I forget.
Yeah, I got him around 6 or 7 wins.
Yep, same here.
Yeah,
I think our floor is 5 wins. I think our ceiling is 9. I predicted us to go 6 and 10. That's kind of where I
think that you hit it right on the head. I think if everything breaks right, we could win 9 games. And I want to reiterate, if we were playing a easier schedule, Because I don't care what people say. Some people say, well, we're playing an easy schedule based on last year's record. But if you look at this year's predictions from Vegas in terms of the over-under, the Giants play the second toughest schedule in the league. So if the Giants weren't playing the two toughest divisions, the NFC West and the AFC North, I would probably tell you our ceiling is 10 or 11. But because of our schedule, I think best case is 9 wins, and I think 6 or 7 is realistic.
Yeah, I agree. The NFC West is extremely tough.
Yeah.
And the AFC North is not easy either. I mean, we got the Ravens in there, we got the Steelers, we got the Browns. Although honestly, I think we're going 3-1 against the AFC North.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think we beat the Browns. I think we beat the Bengals, and I think we beat the Steelers.
I'll tell you what, the Bengals, and I'm not saying we shouldn't win that game. I'm predicting that we will. The Bengals, I don't think are going to be a pushover this year. I think they're going to be improved. They got, obviously, they bring in Burrow, who a lot of people are high on. They get last year's first-round pick back, Jonah Williams, who got hurt before the year started, the left tackle.
They picked up T. Higgins, which
I picked up T. Higgins, a healthy A.J. Green. So the Bengals, I think, will be much more challenging than last year, but I still think that's a game we should win.
All right. But I do. I think we get – well, the way I don't remember if I predicted us to beat Cleveland or not. I think I did. But I predicted us to get swept by the Eagles and Cowboys. Now, I just predicted that, but I definitely think we can beat either one of those teams. We just haven't done it, so they got to show me they can, but I definitely think we can beat them. And I picked us to lose to the Cardinals, but I think we can beat them too. So –
I think we'll split between the Browns and Cardinals. We play them back to back. They're both at home. I think they'll find a way to win one of those games. I don't know which one, but that's my prediction. I think they'll win one of those two games later in the season.
Hopefully by December they allow fans. We'll be there. And
right.
But I don't know if anybody saw it. So OBJ had a video. I put it on my community notes. So OBJ has a channel on here, and it said OBJ catching dubs on Warzone, which is a video game. So I went to that channel, and I commented. I told him this. I said, OBJ going to be catching an L when he comes back to MetLife Stadium, and that's the only thing he catches in that game. I like that. I like that. It's got like 50+ likes on it, which is hilarious. Right?
I like that. I'd like to see that.
In parentheses, I put, it's just good nature ribbing, guys. Don't get out of hand. Because some OBJ fanatic, so I was like, I'm just mad. That's good trash. And this is why I was the best trash talker in the history of the TTC. I just know how to talk trash. I can be really ruthless, but I can be very intelligent when I do it too. And that was good. I was like,
that was well mannered. You weren't over the top. You stuck it to him a little bit, but it wasn't too much.
Right. I didn't go over the top. I didn't call him a name or anything. I just told him, you're gonna get. And he probably doesn't read his comments, but if he did, he probably was like, that was good. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Rock and Rob, thank you for the super chat again, my man. Really appreciate it, guys. Brilliant. He says, bold predictions. Watson improves without D-Hop. I don't think it's D-Hop's problem. I think it's Bill O'Brien that holds Deshaun back, to be honest. Murray has a sophomore slump. Jones's numbers don't jump out, but he has 6 or less fumbles, and the Lions win the North. You like the Lions, Chris.
Rock and Rob, you said. I am the only person on YouTube that I know that likes the Lions. So I'm glad that that's a bold prediction for you. The Lions, I don't know if I'm going to go as far to say that they win the North. I kind of want to. I do think the Lions are going to make the playoffs. I think they get at least the 7th seed. That's my sleeper team this year. So Rock and Rob you and me are in sync with that one.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, about the I forgot what I was going to say. It'll come back to me eventually. I forgot. New York Giants zone. What's going on? Tiana Jones in the house. What's going on, everybody? I thought I was seeing a bunch of new. Cam Chowder is in the house. Very nice. Brian Stepnowski, what's going on? He says Stafford's holding him back. I don't know if he's holding him back. I think Patricia holds him back. Stafford's really never had a lot.
I don't think people realize, because I didn't until I did some research because I was looking for sleepers. Stafford last year with the new offensive coordinator, he only played the first 8 games, then he got hurt. He had 18 touchdowns and 5 picks in the first 8 games. That's 36-10 had he played the full 16-game schedule. They drafted 2 players who I think are going to help that team right away with Okuda, and they got Swift in the second round, the running back. I think Hockenson takes a big step forward this year, the 7th overall pick last year, the tight end. I think they got a lot of good weapons. Now, the defense, you got to question a little bit. They brought in Jamie Collins. Okuda's an addition. I don't know. The Lions I think they're a sleeper. That's all I'll say.
I know what I was going to say. My bold prediction, when I did this stream the other night with the NFC East guys, and I made this bold prediction, I said Daniel Jones is going to be a Pro Bowl. be a Pro Bowl quarterback this year. And of course, they laughed at me. They thought it was funny. I actually said that. The other thing is funny. So I don't know if you guys know Scooter Magruder. I just know that guy's a big channel. I don't know. I mean, I don't watch his stuff, but he had the check mark, and I saw him in the chat, and I didn't get a chance to address him. But he comes in, and we're talking about ranking the NFC East quarterbacks. And I'd say that Daniel Jones is better. So he goes on Twitter, and he's like, I stumbled into a live stream, and I heard a guy say Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. And he goes, I have to leave the internet for a while, or I'm done with the internet for the night. So I kind of laugh, and I respond. I was like, oh, the guy actually didn't mention me by name, but then I did interact with him a little bit on Twitter. But the funny thing is, I went back and I watched the stream, and I was looking at the comments. Obviously, you can't look at the comments, a lot of time. When you have 4 people, it's really tough to see all the comments. So I went back and I looked, and this guy is sitting here in the comment section saying the Cowboys are going 19-0 and winning the Super Bowl. Now I'm sitting there going, what is a better debate? That Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott, or that the Cowboys ain't losing a game?
Come on.
Give me a break. He's lucky I didn't see that when I responded on Twitter. I would have said, you're the same guy said Cowboys going 19-0. What, an Eagles fan? They do that all the time.
Cowboy. I do think the Cowboys win the division, but 19-0 is crazy. There's no way that
nobody's winning more than 10 games in this division.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Michael Goodchild, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly, my good man. He says, awesome to see you both in action. Always a great show. We appreciate that. He says, I love the backgrounds today. And Amber Ale, what is that? I'm a beer nerd. I am a beer snob. Michael Goodchild. I actually got this from my wife. This is it's Woodchuck hard cider.
Yes, yeah. I've had that before.
But it was cold and it was in the fridge, and I stole one from her. So
what is that? Is that a Goose Island?
No, it's a Woodchuck.
Oh, Woodchuck.
I love Goose Island, but Goose Island's too hoppy, gives me a headache crazy. But that Goose Island's a really good. But yeah, Mike, I am definitely a beer snob and a beer nerd too. Trust me. Philly 500 and I talk about that all the time. I love to try different beers. I'm a beer guy without a doubt. Meat Church, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. Do you know Meat Church? He knows these guys. So I'm just I mean, I've never seen the meat unless he's got a new name.
Must be a new name.
He says, is Kid Blue, he meant rank, as the world's tallest. You ain't right. Kid Blue's the man.
Kid Blue's awesome.
Yeah.
Kid Blue's I'm just trying the Meat Church. What do you think that is? Is that like hell for like vegetarians and vegans?
I don't know. It sounds like a bad porno, Chris.
Yeah, that was. I wasn't going to go down that avenue, but you did, so we could start. But it does sound like a fun time.
Yeah, I guess if you're a woman.
If you're a woman, not me, not for me.
Yeah. Sharp left turn after that. But yeah, I mean, the preseason stuff, and I don't know what we're gonna do. So I'm just hoping we have football, without a doubt. And I think this division, I think it's going to be more competitive this year. Like you said, if we didn't play such a tough schedule, I'd have much higher expectations for the Giants. But I think I said it before. I've said this. I don't care it could be the Redskins, man. The team that has the best record in this division could win this division. If the Skins go 5-1 in this division, they're winning the division.
Yeah, I agree. I think because every team plays, I'd have to really look over the schedules, but just based off the divisions we're playing, I would say that it's probably optimistic if you think you're going over 500 out of the division. So if the Cowboys go 4-2 in division and they go 500 the other 10 games, you're talking 9 wins.
7, which is what I have them winning. I have them 9-7. I have the Eagles 9-7. So
yeah, I think 9, like you said, 9 or 10 wins is probably the ceiling for the division winner this year. I agree with that.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know how much stronger either one of these teams got. Because the Eagles just lost Brandon Brooks, and I don't think the Eagles had a good draft. I just don't. I think they did very well on day 3, but
how much is day 3 going to help you year 1?
That's what I mean. You get good value in day 3, but those guys aren't your, like Jalen Rager's going to make the team immediately, but he's a slot guy. And, I read an article. Now, I didn't agree with the article, but I read an article that said they thought that was the worst pick in the draft. that they took Jalen Reagor. The worst pick in the draft.
I would say the worst pick in the draft was the Eagles' second round pick.
Yeah, that was awful. And again, they had 2 really bad first days, in my opinion. I don't know how much they strengthened their team. And then the Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb's a luxury. There's no doubt about that.
I was thinking about this the other day. I didn't mean to cut you off because you brought up CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
I was thinking about this the other day with the Cowboys. Cowboys obviously spent a boatload on Amari Cooper. They let Byron Jones walk.
Yep.
Do you think, and there's no way the Cowboys could have known this, if the Cowboys knew CeeDee Lamb was going to be there at 17, do they let Amari Cooper walk, and do they sign Byron Jones instead?
It's a great question, and it's very possible that they do. It's very possible that they do go that route. Now I heard, up here with the fireworks. I was waiting for that. They light them off on May 3rd. So, it's July 3rd. So I've been waiting for that anyway. But the Cowboys, I remember, I forgot what the hell I was going to say now. That stupid firework made me lose my train of thought. It was not about CeeDee Lamb and Byron Jones.
Well, you were saying CeeDee Lamb's kind of a luxury in the draft.
Right. So, yeah, he's a luxury. I don't think they need him. They lost a lot of pieces on defense. And I don't know. The Cowboys fans are so high in Mike McCarthy, and they're like, we're not going to be predictable. Jason Garrett's not there. And I'm like, you do realize that Kellen Moore called the plays. All the Cowboy fans at the beginning of the year were talking, it's not Jason Garrett calling plays, it's Kellen Moore. Look at how good Dak Prescott is when he played 3 of the worst teams in the league the first 3 games last year. Then they were all praising Kellen Moore. Then when Dak slumped there at the end of the year, when he started playing tougher competition, and the Cowboys started losing games against tougher competition, 1-6 against teams over 500. And I think the only team they beat over 500 was the Eagles, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think the Eagles swept them. They could have, though. I don't remember.
I think they split.
But they, they were all praising this guy, and then he fell off, and now it's Jason Garrett's fault. So, I don't believe that. Kellen Moore had a lot to do with what they do there. Mike McCarthy, in my opinion, it's easy when you have Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers improvises. Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks.
Aaron Rodgers is a top 5-6 quarterback ever, and maybe one of the top 2 or 3 most naturally gifted quarterbacks ever.
Yeah. So you don't have that with Dak Prescott. You have a good quarterback. You have a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. So you're gonna have to do a lot better job with Dak Prescott and give him stuff that he can, because Aaron Rodgers could do anything.
No,
Prescott can't. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. The reason I have the Eagles winning this division is pretty much because I think that they have the most complete team, and I think that they have the huge advantage knowing Peterson's system.
That I agree with that early on. I think that's going to play that should be a huge advantage for the Eagles, because all the other teams have brand new coaching staffs and they got to learn on the fly. They don't have a normal offseason. So I agree that early on the Eagles should get off to a good start. I agree with that.
Absolutely. Al Batts, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Brilly. He says, I hope no one pulls a JPP tomorrow. Yes, if you guys are going to use fireworks, please be safe. Because as I said in last night's stream, if you're playing with fireworks, trust me, be safe, because you don't want to throw out a pitchfork when you're playing rock, paper, scissors like JPP does. So
yeah. I would recommend anybody that's thinking about shooting fireworks, maybe take a look at the JPP video before you decide to do that tomorrow.
Absolutely. And if you guys haven't done so, do me a favor. Spike that like. We're at 77. Got 170 people in here. Make it happen. Hakeem J. Love when I do that. Let's get to 100 likes, guys. I would appreciate it.
There you go. We appreciate it, guys. Thank you, guys.
More importantly, make sure you go into the description. The banner is going across, but in case you're looking at our beautiful faces and not that banner, the link to the Up Tainah Talkin Sports' channel is there. Click it, sub him up, ring the bell so you know when he drops content. We do this show every week together, and we alternate channels. So next week it'll be on his channel. It'll be episode number 87 as we quickly close in on 100 episodes of Talkin' Giants, which is unbelievable to me.
We're going to be, let's do the math right now. So if the regular season starts on time, you figure we've got another 7 shows before the start of the season. So you figure right around week 8, which is when we kind of started the show, would be our 100th episode.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Brat's Mansack says, I'm blocking out our 4 trophies. I wanted to sit right in front of them. I wanted to feel the power of the 4 Lombardis. That's why I got to sit right there. But Yeah, the other thing I wanted to touch on a little bit, get your thoughts, and of course the chat. And it's, this has been talked about for years about Washington, the Washington Redskins changing their name to something else. I don't know what they've decided on changing it to. I haven't heard anything. But I guess now, so they've talked about this for years. It's never happened. But I guess now, FedEx Field, FedEx, a lot of major sponsors the Redskins are talking about leaving if they don't change the name. So it always brings me back to Trading Places, which and Chris, you just started a movie channel, which I should have put the link to that in the description. I didn't even think about that.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
But I'm sure you've seen Trading Places.
Matter of fact, if anybody wants to check out the movie channel, there you go. I'm logged into it. I didn't know I was. It's right there, the Entertainer Talking movie. So there you go. I gave myself a plug. But Trading Places is one of my favorite movies of all time.
All right. So you can plug your somebody actually, if I know Dire Giants fans are really good at this. If somebody could put the link to his channel in there, because you can't click on the channel anymore. You can't even highlight people's names anymore.
Really?
Yep. If you put at, nothing happens anymore.
Wow.
Yep. You can't even at somebody in the chat anymore.
But you know what? I just did a podcast on my favorite comedies. I probably should have had Trading Places on there. That is such a brilliant movie. I absolutely love the whole storyline. The rich guy's forced to be poor. The poor guy's, rich. It's a great movie.
But what I was tying into that is Eddie Murphy in that movie says, it seems to me the best way to hurt rich people is by making them poor. You pull out all that money off of Daniel Snyder, you're forcing his hand.
Yeah.
So, I really don't know. Again, I don't know what the deal is. I think there are issues in the world than that, but
yeah, exactly.
What it is.
I don't know who started that. I'm a huge St. John's fan, and obviously I'm sure you remember they used to be called the St. John's Redmen.
Yes.
And then I think they were one of the first, bigger teams. I know they're college, but now they're the Red Storm. They were forced to change that. And my answer to this whole thing is this: if people are offended by it, change it. Go ahead. It really shouldn't make that big of a deal, but I don't know why it's a big deal, especially at a time like this, like you said, with everything that's going on. Why is the attention focused on that? I don't understand it. It just seems like it's something that people are kind of bored. They got nothing to talk about right now because there's no sports. There's nothing with the pandemic, and people are looking to make a big deal out of something. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty insane. We'll get more of that in a second. Kevin Wall, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Brilly. He says, who do you think leads the team in sacks? Also, Chris, what do you think about the Mets' projected 32 wins? It seems a little low.
Kevin, man, thank you so much for the love, man. For the Met question, I'm a huge Met fan, and I'm definitely gonna have some Met content up once we get some baseball games.
Hell yeah.
They're only gonna have 60 games, so I have to really look at their schedule. I know like I said, somebody asked me that the other day. They play 60 games. They're playing the Yankees 6 times. I think it might even be 9 times. I think it's 6 times. So
that's 5 losses.
And I would assume they probably play the Red Sox a lot too if they're playing the Yankees.
Kick their ass.
We hope so. So it could be a challenging schedule. I think the thing is this, Baddog. I can't give a record prediction for baseball because baseball 60 games is too small of a sample size. Anybody could have a good month. So the key to this, it's what the Mets got to do what they did 2 years ago. They started off, I think, 13-1 or something like that.
Yeah,
get off to the good start, and then you're almost halfway through the season. But I think 32, 33 wins is pretty fair, especially with Syndergaard out for the year. I think the Mets have a talented team, though, and I actually think the DH benefits them because Cespedes is a perfect candidate for that. Yeah. Cano is a perfect candidate for that. J.D. Davis is a perfect candidate for that. So I actually think that's going to benefit the Mets. It's going to come down to the bullpen. The Mets tried to beef up that bullpen by bringing in the former Yankee Betances. And if that bullpen is improved, I think the Mets could be a very good team. I think they could be a dangerous team in the playoffs with DeGrom and a strong bullpen, but it's going to come down to that bullpen.
Good luck with Betances. You guys did pick a Melky Cabrera, who I loved Melky back in that.
Man.
I don't know what he's going to do for you guys now. He's near getting he's out of his prime. But I always loved Melky. He reunited him with Cano. They were best friends with the Yankees. And both of them obviously cheated with the Yankees as well, taking them PEDs. They both got busted for them. Not with the Yankees, but I knew Cano was on that stuff. You could tell one year he was like 197 pounds and he was like 227. I'm like, yeah, okay. Right. But OGR Sports, man. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Brilly, my man. He says, my two favorite lunatics. What's good, my guys? Thanks again, Baddog, for bringing me on last night. No, my pleasure. Like I said, I want to do that. I'm trying to do that once a week with some Giants content creators before the season gets started and before Yankee Dog and Laker Dog and Giant Dog and everything else starts happening, because I'm not going to have time for that when baseball and basketball and football are hitting at the same time. I barely have time to stream anything except for live games. And obviously this show. You always make time for this show. But
yeah. No, OGR is great.
Yes, he's the man.
I would always try to help him out whenever we can. And he's got a great channel over there, great work ethic, great Giant fan. And definitely want to try to get him on the channel as much as we can during the season.
So Meat Church's brother came into the chat and donated. Thanks so much for the $2 super chat. Synagogue of Steak.
Oh, the Jewish version.
Yeah,
Are we going to get the temple next, or the the mosque next?
I don't know. Maybe we are getting the mosque. I don't know what you. But brilliant. I have to ask my workout buddy about that. He says, don't count out the Skins defensive line or the Giants offensive line. The NFC is equal. Yeah, the Skins definitely beefed up their defensive line. Chase Young is a huge addition. The Giants did that with their offensive line. Like I said, I honestly don't think that the Eagles and Cowboys are that much better than the Redskins or the Giants. The Giants just have to prove to me.
I think you muted yourself, Baddog. Baddog's muted.
That just does that on its own. I don't know what the hell the deal is.
You're talking about
what's that?
You're talking about the Redskins.
Right. Well, no, right, the Redskins. But I was saying, I don't think that the Cowboys and Eagles are that much better than the Redskins or the Giants. But the Giants have got to prove to me that they can beat these teams. We had the Cowboys beat last year, the Black Cat game. Remember, we were kicking their ass, let it get away. Second game against the Eagles last year, we're kicking their ass, we let it get away. Right. We just got to finish. We finish games, we beat these teams. Yeah. You start beating the Eagles and the Cowboys, there's no reason you can't win this division.
No, I agree. Like you said earlier, we win 4 games, 5 wins, four games in the division. We got a chance to win it. Is that going to happen? I'm not going to bank on it, but if we do, yeah, it's up for grabs. If you could win 5 games out of division, you're going to the playoffs. So, yes, I agree. We got to try to find ways to win these divisional games. In the last 2 years, we've found ways to lose them.
Yep.
We've had opportunities against the Eagles. We had a golden opportunity against the Cowboys last year. So we got to find ways to win them. As far as the Redskins go, I'm in complete agreement with the defensive line. I think the Redskins have the best defensive line in this division. Unfortunately for the Redskins, I think that's their only real strength. Outside of that, I don't really believe in most of the rest of their team, but they definitely have a great pass rush.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I don't like their offense one bit, but their pass rush is good. Al Bats, you the man. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. Stream the Coney Island hot dog contest. Baddog said that's all we have to bet on. I can't watch it. It's disgusting. I can't watch people eat.
Yeah.
Watching people eat makes me want to throw up. It's the most disgusting thing ever. Watching anybody. I don't care if they're eating normally. I can't watch people eat. It's gross. It just grosses me out. It's disgusting.
Clocks has a question here. I've seen him ask it.
I did. I was actually going to get to that after the super chat, but you can read it off.
No, because he asked me this on my video the other day. He said, which coach were you guys hoping for? Let me just make sure I read it right. I think.
Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah, which coach were you hoping for during the search? Well, Clocks, I'll be out. I mean, if you watch my channel, the first guy that I wanted was Ron Rivera, but Ron Rivera signed very early in the process. The Redskins got him basically as soon as the year ended, if I remember correctly. So he was never on the Giants' radar. And then after that, I wanted Matt Rule. Matt Rule was my next guy. He was the guy that had Giants ties. He was a guy that flipped 2 college programs. He was young, which is kind of what I was looking for. I never wanted Mike McCarthy. We missed out on Matt Rule, but at the end of the day, we kind of got a guy that's very similar to Matt Rule. We got a young guy, 38 years old, a guy that, has great mentors, and we got to see what we got. So I'm happy with Joe Judge. I was never a huge fan of Bieniemy. I know a lot of people have said him. The guy doesn't even call the plays in Kansas City. I know that he relays the plays to the quarterback, but I was never a huge fan of bringing in Bieniemy. Donwick Martindale, a lot of people pointed to because he was a defensive mind. People liked him. I was completely for getting that young, fresh mind. I'm happy with getting Judge. Of course, we don't know what we got yet, but I'm happy with him. But yeah, Rivera was my first choice because I think he's one of the better coaches in the league.
Yeah, I was definitely a Matt Rule guy. There's no doubt about that. I watched the way he turned around Temple. I watched the way he turned around Baylor. I mean, especially Baylor, because I watch Baylor football. You know, I'm a Big 12 guy, so I watched that. I also liked Wink Martindale. Those are the two guys I was definitely extremely high on. But, you know, after I listened to both of their press conferences, I could tell Matt Rule was a money guy and Joe Judge was a football guy. And I made a video shortly after that when I heard Joe Judge's press conference, or I heard Matt Rule's press conference, one or the other. And I said, the Giants are blessed that they missed out on Matt Rule. I really don't think Matt Rule is going to be good. I think he didn't talk about football. He talked about his, you know, time at Baylor and how his wife drove him to interview, you know, recruits when he had laryngitis. You know, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. And Joe Judge comes in and says, we're going to punch you in the nose for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Joe Judge immediately. Again, talk is cheap. He can have the best football philosophy in the world, but if the players don't believe it and the players don't get on board and the players don't execute, he's not going to look like a good coach.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's about getting the most out of your players and getting them to execute, like Belichick does, like Saban does. That's why they're the best. They get the most out of their players. Parcells did that. Your best coaches, we say it all the time, best coaches find your players' strongest skill sets, and they utilize that skill set in their game plan. It's not really that difficult as far as figuring that out, you know, or knowing that's what you should do. It's just trying to figure out their strong points. And Joe Judge said that right away. Don't tell me what they can't do. Tell me what they can do.
Yeah.
I love that.
And the other thing that I loved about Judge was he has a clear plan. I mean, you look at all the coaches he brought in. I say it all the time. He's been thinking about this for years, right? They all have a connection to him in one way or another. I thought that he brought in a very strong coaching staff. I thought that he drafted a specific way. I thought that he brought in guys in free agency. It was a clear plan that the New York Giants have. It seemed as if him and Gettleman really worked well together this offseason. For the first time in a long time, I'm ecstatic about the New York Giants offseason. Now, do I think it's going to translate to 10 or 11 wins? No. I think we're still a young roster. Yeah. I think that we still play a very challenging schedule, but I think we set this team up the right way going forward with one more strong draft next year, a strong free agency period. There's no reason to think that this team can't be competitive for the next 5 years.
Completely agree. OGR Sports, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. Brilly, brother. He says, with possibility of no preseason games at all, assuming the season goes off without a hitch, how long do you think it takes for teams to really hit their stride given everything they've missed? It's a great question. I would say 4 weeks, because that's
I agree with that. But the thing is, it's everybody though. It's not just us, right? So everybody's going to be a little sloppy. There might be more injuries because they didn't have time to prepare in pads. But yeah, I think at least 4 weeks, to be honest with you, if we don't have a preseason. But the Giants are definitely at a disadvantage with the new playbook on offense and defense.
I see Joey Logano fan for life came and he says Washington Warriors. But one thing I noticed about Joey Logano from last night is he changed the name because he spelled Logano wrong and he spelled it correctly today. So shout out to you for changing that A to an O. Shout out to you for doing that.
There you go, Joey.
I noticed that. There you go. Joey Logano. I used to love Joey Logano. Well, I was always a fan of the Home Depot cars. Big Tony Stewart fan. When Tony left for the 14 car, I just kind of stayed with the 20. Logano, replaced him there, didn't do well there. Then Kenseth was in there.
You got into NASCAR, huh?
Oh, I was a huge NASCAR guy from 99 through about 2007, 2008. They made too many rule changes. But yeah, I was a big – I used to go to NASCAR race every year.
What's the rule change? What's the rule change? I mean, you go around a circle for 500 laps.
I'll tell you, there's a lot more to it than that. I mean, It really is. The problem with me in NASCAR was I never had a guy to root for. Everyone was rooting for Dale Earnhardt. I'm like, I don't want to root for Dale Earnhardt. Everyone was rooting for Jeff Gordon. I'm like, I don't want to root for everybody the guys are rooting for. Well, one day I'm watching, the guy I worked with at the time was a huge NASCAR fan. He was a big Earnhardt fan. I never was in NASCAR. I said, that's stupid. I said the same thing you did. I said they go around in a circle. I'm watching ESPN and I see a guy get out of his car and he's on the track and a guy stops in the track and the guy throws something and throws 2 punches in the car. And I said, what was that all about? He goes, they were wrecking each other. He's like, he got pissed off. I said, I'll tell you what. I go, I'm going to start watching NASCAR. I want to root for that guy. Who's that guy? He said, that's Tony Stewart. He said, he's a rookie. He said, he's really good. He's won a race already this year. He said, most rookies don't win races. He says, he's a really good driver. So that was my guy. That's how I fell in love with NASCAR. And then I started watching it. I don't know. There's something about the speed. There's something about the pit crew. There's something about the strategy. I don't know what it is. The big wrecks. It's exciting. I don't know. It was exciting to me. And then they changed all the rule changes every year. Just kind of got to me like, this is just stupid now. With nothing to watch, Chris, I kind of got back into it. I root for Chase Elliott now. I don't root for Eric Jones, even though he's in the 20, but certainly not like it was. But I used to, and if you ever went to a NASCAR race and you smell the
that's one thing I want to do. That I don't think I could ever get into it on TV, but I would like to go. I have several friends that have gone to live NASCAR events and they love it. That's one thing.
It's amazing. I went to New Hampshire a couple times. I went to Dover. I went to Charlotte. I always wanted to go to Bristol and Richmond. I never got there, but yeah, I was a big NASCAR guy, late 90s, early 2000s, big, but not so much anymore. Al Batts, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly, my man. He says, huge fan of Rule. Son went to Baylor. He is not an NFL coach. I probably tend to agree with that, but I guess Al would know. Al knows a lot of people. So don't give Tainah or Dog any shit. You have to meet Al Batts. Spunky, 1991. Good to see you, my man. Hope all is well over there in Eagles land, my brother. And Spunky, of course, is a truck driver, so stay safe out there. Brilly, thank you for the super chat. Says the myth, the man, the legend, Baddog. You're too kind, Spunky. I'm just, I'm none of those things, but maybe the myth. I might be a myth.
Yeah, I think you're a man. You're a man.
Well, I am a man. I'm not the man because Spunky, how can I be the man when you're the man? Rock and Rob, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, my man. He says no preseason games will give us an advantage week 1 versus Big Ben. Really? I don't know if anybody has the advantage. Well, again, I think teams that have their regular coaching staff, I think they have the advantage because they're acclimated to it. We're going to be disadvantaged at first.
I think it's a disadvantage. I mean, I'm trying to be optimistic. I think it's a disadvantage for the Giants.
Yeah.
Too much turnover on the coaching staff to have a shortened offseason. I think it's a disadvantage, but hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah. Hopefully not. Damian Ramey, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly says we need the Giants to beat the Cowboys this year and bring the Eagles rivalry back. Yeah, we need a rivalry, both of those teams. The only way you really have a rivalry is when you're beating each other, not when they're wiping the floor with you every year. So we do. We need to beat both of those teams. I'm sick of losing to them. I can't stomach either one of those teams. And watching them kill us for the last 3 years, it's unsettling.
Yeah.
Like you said, Chris, even if we were a terrible team like last year, we had a chance to knock the Eagles out of the playoffs, that would have been satisfying to me.
Of course. That's like a Super Bowl for us the last couple of years. We haven't been able to beat those teams in forever.
I know, and I'm sick of those two. Spunky, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly says you are a legend, Baddog. Don't you ever forget it. You're the man. Spunky, I appreciate that. You're the man. You're the man. Spunky's got a great channel over there too. Like I said, as an Eagles fan today, I was talking about this on the NFC's roundtable I have with these guys. After the stream, that it is amazing the amount of great Cowboys and Eagles fans that we have in our chats. I mean, there's a few Redskins fans, but we have a lot of really good Cowboys and Eagles fans that support our channel. So that means a lot to us, guys, that you would, come over here and because, we're talking about the Giants and you guys are here supporting us. So we appreciate that you'd want to listen to what we have to say about the Giants. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. Some of our best supporters are Eagles and Cowboys fans and even some Redskins. Chuck Sharps is a great Redskins
right.
fan. So
Johnny Letourneau, big Eagles guy.
Yeah, we definitely got some great rival subscribers. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and that's what's awesome about it. The real reality says Brilly F Philly. I love it. I like it. Rock and Rob, Brilly to you, sir. Thank you for the super chat. He says Ben will be rusty with no preseason after 2019 injury. I'm wondering if Big Ben will even start.
I mean, well, I guess they could start. What's his name? The guy that started last year. What's his name again? The guy that got smacked in the face.
Oh, that wasn't Landry Jones? Who?
They drafted him a couple of years ago. The quarterback.
Oh God, what is the guy's name? How do I not remember?
I can't remember. But I think Ben's going to start though. I think. Yeah, I think he'll start.
Yeah, he stinks. I think we're beating Pittsburgh.
I think we could. I agree. I think we definitely could. I don't think that's a runaway game at all for the Steelers.
I see.
Mason Rudolph. There you go. Mason Rudolph.
Thank you, guys. I liked him out of Ohio State too, but he's been bad.
Yeah.
Afghanistan's in the house.
I was kind of hoping that draft that the Giants snagged him in the third. Yeah, I didn't hate Rudolph that year. That's for sure. I think the Steelers took him in the second.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
I like, Steel 58, my man. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Brilly. That obviously a Steelers fan. And the 58, obviously, for one of the greatest linebackers in the history of football. One of my all-time favorites, Jack Lambert, because That guy was just a savage. It's kind of like 58 is a savage. If you ever watch his trash talking videos, I can see the resemblance. But I appreciate the super chat, bro. He says, "Come on, man, Ben's starting." I don't know. He's been hurt, so I wasn't sure how that was going to be.
Ben's got to start. I'm with Steel 58 on that. They're not paying him that money for him not to be the starter this year.
Yeah, they did give the extension.
But I do think he could be replaced at some point this year if he doesn't get back to his old form. I'll agree with that. But week one, Ben will be the guy. One
could hope that he didn't. Steal the curtains. Yes, he did come from Oklahoma State. I like Mason Rudolph from Oklahoma State a lot. I did. But yeah, I see Giants Alliance is in the chat. What's going on, brother? He was on the channel last night. Yeah, good to see you.
He says, Giants Alliance just asked, is the Steel Curtain the best defense ever? I can't speak on that. I would guess. Here's what I'll say about
overall.
That's what I was going to say. Not for one singular year, but for maybe like a 10-year stretch or 8-year stretch. It probably is now. And since I've been alive, since I've been watching the sport, I think it's got to be that Ravens defense in 2000.
Yeah, I mean, I was alive for the '85 Bears, and they were really dominant, but I really think that was a lot of the 46 scheme, and they played in a really, really weak division. I mean, the Packers and Bucks were trash, and the Lions were no good. The Vikings were okay, but I mean, they didn't allow a point in the playoffs either to the Super Bowl, and that's because Walter Payton fumbled, and they gave up 3 points because Payton fumbled, and they didn't give up points until the end of the damn Super Bowl. I mean, they could have shut everybody out in the Super Bowl. The '85 Bears and the 2000 Steelers are definitely the two best one-year defenses I've ever seen.
2000 Ravens, you mean Ravens?
Yeah. What I say? Steelers. I mean, yeah, Ravens. But yeah, it's crazy. But we got 200 guys in here, so guys and girls.
I was going to say,
thank you,
girls. Could be something other than a guy or girl. You don't know. So thank you to everybody for being here.
People. But we're at 90 likes. We got to get to 100 likes, guys. So let's make it happen, baby. Hit that thumbs up button. I would really greatly appreciate it. More importantly, make sure you guys go into the description. Again, if you're not looking at the banner going across the bottom, but looking at our gorgeous Italian faces, subscribe to the Up Tainah Talkin Sports. Link to his channels in there. We do this show on his channel next week. And thank you guys for being here. Brandon Cardona, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, my man, he says, would you rather get beaten half to death by aliens for 5 straight years, or the Giants would have 10 straight years of losing seasons? Well, I'd rather the 10 straight losing seasons because I think we're pretty close.
Yeah, I think I would choose 10 straight losing seasons over getting beat to death by aliens.
Yeah, because I mean, we've had 7 out of our 8 last losing seasons. 7 out of 8. Hello, 7 out of our 8 last seasons have been losing seasons. So, Spunky, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. Thoughts on a 2020 season with no possible fans? Listen, I can deal without fans being there. I don't go to every game. I mean,
I honestly don't get, and I get it. It would definitely be a much better viewing experience with the fans in the crowd. And obviously, if you're somebody who has season tickets and you go to every game, that sucks. And I'd like to go to a couple of games this year as well. But at the end of the day, we need sports, Baddog, and we need a diversion. We need to get it. People have too much time on their hands, like we were saying earlier. Everybody's looking for things to complain about because everybody's pissed off. We need to return to some sense of normalcy. So if there is any way, I don't care if they're playing on high school football fields, if there is any way to get some sense of normalcy back through sport, I don't care if there's fans in the crowd or not. Obviously, it would be better, but it's not a necessity for me.
Yeah. Rockin' Rob says, I classify as a walrus. Don't judge me, Chris. Oh, Andy Reid came in the house? Andy Reid is classified as a walrus. Playboy Phil says, you guys think Saquon Barkley will go down as the best running back to ever live and Giants history?
If he stays healthy, yes.
The Giants. I don't know about the greatest ever.
Oh, and did he say Giants or ever?
He said both. He said greatest ever.
Oh, in Giants history, he will be. He will be better than T.E. Barber if he stays healthy, and we keep him, of course. In terms of ever, do I think it's possible? Yes. I think that he is that talented. Do I think it's likely? No. I mean, to be the best ever, you're talking about 100-year history in the sport. You're talking about passing guys like Jim Brown and Barry Sanders, which is going to be tough.
Yeah.
But it's possible.
Walter Payton, too.
Yeah, it's possible, not likely.
Right. So John May, what's going on? Dustin Bolanos is in the house. What's going on? Thomas Cusack is here. I'm waiting for Last Jedi to come in. Last Jedi said she'd be here today. I don't see Last Jedi yet. Colby Sports, what's going on? Christopher Taylor, what's up? He says, which coach in the NFC East has the most to lose if they have a losing season? I think
It's got to be Peterson.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's not a brand new coach.
You know what's funny? I was going to say McCarthy. I think people expect a lot out of McCarthy. I think Peterson's proven himself, and no matter how bad the Eagles are, I think not that any of these guys, I don't think any of these coaches are getting fired after 1 year or after this year, because Peterson could go 1-15. They're not getting rid of Peterson. He's won a Super Bowl. He made the playoffs last year with a bunch of practice guys.
But I agree that none of them are getting fired this year.
But I think McCarthy, I think Cowboy fans are expecting a lot out of him. I think they want to place the blame on Jason Garrett when I just think that team underperformed. They do have a lot of talent. So, I mean, that's obviously when you have a lot of talent, we do this with the Giants, you're going to blame the head coach. Cowboys have a lot of talent. I don't think Dak is that good. That's my big thing. But,
yeah. I mean, you could certainly argue McCarthy. I just say the only reason I say Peterson is because he hasn't done much in terms of the playoffs since the Super Bowl, and this would be the third year. If they say they go 6-10, and I think the other three coaches obviously have a longer leash, being that they're brand new. But yes, in terms of expectations, I would agree there. I think McCarthy's they have high hopes right away. They expect 10, 11 wins right out of the gate.
Right. Alvaro Figueroa says, what if Cesar Ruiz fell to 36? Who do you take? I don't know how he got my name highlighted. I couldn't do that earlier, so maybe it came back. Maybe it was just a glitch.
I take Ruiz. I love McKinney. I take Ruiz. I was that high on Ruiz. I knew he wasn't going to get to us, but
I mean, I said that before. I said if you're going to go offensive line, get your left tackle and your center. We have no center, so I would say the same thing. I would have said take Ruiz there. I never thought McKinney would fall to us anyway, so I was all about Cesar Ruiz in the second round, so I'd agree with you on that, Chris. Kevin Dorfield, thank you for the super chat. £5 super chat. Brilly. He says, what do you guys make of Carter Coughlin? Do you think he makes much of an impact this season, especially with limited or no preseason games?
Ooh, good question. I like Carter Coughlin, but I'm not going to put any expectations on him yet. He's a 7th-round pick. I think he's a guy that fits our scheme very well. But it looks like we're going to get Golden back, Baddog, and we'll see. But the deadline is July 22nd, so we're talking 18 days now.
Yep.
And if Marcus Golden's back, how does Carter Coughlin get any playing time? I mean, if everybody remains healthy, you've got O'Shane Zimenez, you got Carter, you've got Fackrell, and you've got you've got Golden coming back along with all the defensive line. I just don't see how he's going to get on the field.
That's why the no preseason game thing would be really tough.
Yeah,
Carter Coughlin he was top 2, or he had most quarterback pressures in the country. He was 2
years ago. 2 years ago.
Yeah, so he's an underrated guy. But again, when you're a 7th-round pick, there's a reason you fall to the 7th round, and that's what the preseason's all about. That's your chance to make your name. That's when you get your playing time. That's what the preseason is. You get, like I said, you get your guys warmed up a little bit. They come in, they have a series or two, then they play a quarter, then they play a half, and then they're done. Where these guys, your 7th-round guys, your undrafted free agents, your free agents that are trying to make the team. That's what that 4th game is for. Like we talked about earlier, that's for positional battles. That's for guys looking for the last spots, for final cuts. So it's going to be tough for him to get on the squad. So
I think he'll make the team. I just don't know if he's going to get a lot of playing time unless there's injuries. If there's injuries, then he might get an opportunity. Yeah.
Without a doubt. How do you guys feel about the Giants hiring female scout Hannah Burnett? Listen, I don't care who it is. As long as she knows what she's doing, I'm fine with that. I don't care if it's a man, woman, dog, cat, little bad dog. As long as they can scout and they help the Giants, I don't care. Just help the team win.
Yeah, I saw that story today. I was like, I'm not even going to bother making a video talking about that. But, I'm in complete agreement with you. Who cares if it's a male or female? At the end of the day, just get the job done. Get us some good players. That's all I care about.
Ron Brown says McKinney reminds me of Ed Reed, a true playmaker. Man, if he's anywhere near as good as Ed Reed, Ron, that'd be an enormous pick for us.
Ed Reed's the greatest safety since I've been watching the game. So
one of them.
yeah, so I mean, Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed.
I go back to the Ronnie Lott days.
I saw him at the end with the Jets, but I didn't see him in his heyday.
I saw him in his heyday. He was Ronnie Lott was pretty good. Rod Woodson as a safety was pretty good.
Rod Woodson was good. Yeah.
Benjamin Wynn, what's up, my man? How you doing? Good to see Benjamin Wynn in here. John Maylou Moynihan. I can't talk tonight. Cam Chowder is in the house. Jay Berman's here. Thank you guys and girls again for being here. Really do appreciate it. We've been going live for an hour, so you guys got some questions. Ask him out. Obviously, there's, again, not a ton to talk about, but, we had the no preseason thing. We kind of touched on the Redskins. I don't really know what else we could talk about with the Redskins.
Somebody asked, I think it was Jay asked, who's your GOAT NFL quarterback? And I know yours is Brady. But what I think we could talk about briefly, I don't think we've talked about it yet together, is the whole Cam Newton situation going to New England. Obviously being Brady's replacement, and Brady going to Tampa Bay. What do you think about that with Newton in New England? How do you think he does? Do you think it could hurt Brady's legacy at all? Say Newton goes out there, wins 15 games, they win a Super Bowl, something like that. What's your thought process with that whole situation?
I don't think it'll ever hurt Brady's legacy. I mean, your guy wins 6 Super Bowls. You win 6 Super Bowls. You can't take that away from him. I don't care what happens. I definitely listen, I thought Cam was going to go to I thought Cam or Winston was going to go to the Patriots. And I said they'd have a huge year. Now, one thing about Cam was he was never a great passer. He usually succeeded on his athleticism and running game. He never had great passing, because he was inaccurate a lot of times. And, he threw for 4,000 yards once in his career as his rookie season. He never threw for more than 24 touchdowns in any season outside of 2015 when he won the MVP. He's been hurt. He's got a bad shoulder. But if anybody can get this guy and resurrect his career and utilize whatever strength he has left, it's Belichick. Yeah. And he's definitely an upgrade over Stidham. If Cam has anything left, and his attitude will completely change in the Patriots, because Belichick won't put up with this crap. They don't put up with it. They know how to make winners out of guys. They take so many guys off the scrap heap and they turn them into all pros. Wes Welker was nothing with the
nothing.
So Wes Welker never had a 1,000-yard season outside of playing for New England.
Nate Solder was nothing after he left. Kyle Van Noy was nothing before he got there. There's so many examples of players that were nothing after they left or nothing before they got there. And I'm in complete agreement with you. I think Cam Newton, I could see, and I'm not, and it all depends on if he has it left in the tank, but if he does, I could see like a Michael Vick-like resurgence, like when he came back for Andy Reid with the Eagles. I could see a big year for Cam Newton and the New England Patriots. And because you had a brilliant mind with Reid, you have a brilliant mind with Belichick. And when you give those guys talent, they make the most out of it. So I think it's going to be a great storyline if Newton is, how cool would it be? Not that I'm a huge Patriot guy, but how cool would it be to see the Bucs versus the Patriots in the Super Bowl?
That would be, well, if everyone says the NFL is fixed, that's going to be your Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Storylines on that one, Chris, that would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
If that happened.
Yeah.
That would be unbelievable. The only thing that would have made that better is if Brady went to the Panthers.
Right.
That would have been the only thing that made that better. But, yeah, no doubt about that. TQ says, Baddog, you demand Lakers stream soon. Yes, July 30th. July 30th. Spunky, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly, my man. He says, how long do you think it'll take for the Yankees to win another World Series? We ain't going past it. We're winning it this year, Spunky. I mean, come on, 28's coming home. Every Yankee fan knows that. We got screwed out of it against the Astros in 17 and 19. Well, they can't cheat this year. So the Yankees are winning it all. I know my man Benjamin Wynn says the Dodgers are winning it. I want a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, but I'm a Yankee fan. Of course, I'm going to say we're winning it all this year. Come on, baby.
I'm a Met fan, and even I'm picking the Yankees this year. I think the Yankees have too much talent, especially in a shortened regular season. There's less of a chance they'll sustain injuries. The bullpen should stay fresh. The starters should stay fresh. I think the Yankees have the most talent in baseball. So, unfortunately, because I'm a Met fan, I am going to pick the Yankees. I think the Yankees are going to win it this year.
Yes. Heartstorm Media, thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. This is what's up, guys. I can't wait till you see my top 5 Giants YouTubers vid. Spoiler, neither of you guys made it.
Heartstorm Media, I try to go on his channel whenever I can. He's a great guy. I had him on my channel a couple of weeks ago, so I'll definitely be checking that out, and keep up the great work, man.
Absolutely. I'll have to check it out too. We're not going to be in the top 5 for everything. I can tell you the one thing I am in the top 5 of, and that is ranting. If you ever do a top 5 rant, top 5 rants, Heartstone Media, I'm probably going to be in that one.
Yeah.
I've had some pretty legendary rants on this platform, and there's more to come, I'm sure. You don't just make up a word like shit fondue and then everybody follows it along. I mean, that's just, I don't know. I'm a little
hashtag shit fondue. Yeah.
Hashtag shit fondue. I mean, I give that award out every week to a Giant this year, maybe. Yeah,
hopefully not. Hopefully we give it out to the other.
No, I'm saying there's somebody that's bad. I mean, I could have gave it to Shermer every week.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It was terrible. LA Lou, what is going on? Good to see LA Lou in here, one of our best. Justin Leone, how you doing, my man? Thank you for joining this stream. Nicholas Osborne, Mr. Wright. P Money 1983 says the Browns tight end wants a trade. So should we consider a 2 tight end set? I lost it there.
I'm glad to see Formula Fitness is in here. He's a great supporter of both of ours. Thank you for popping in. I did a video on that today with Njoku, just because there's not a lot to talk about. Njoku's demanding a trade from Cleveland. No, my answer is no. It doesn't make sense with the Giants. For everything that people complain about with Evan Ingram, Njoku's coming off an injury. The guy only played 1 game last year. He's got 2 years left on his deal because they extended him on the rookie deal. He was the 29th overall pick. He had about 700 yards 2 years ago. But at the end of the day, we got Caden Smith. We've got Toilolo. That's not a position where we're going to give up assets to bring in another tight end. Doesn't make sense. I think the Patriots make a lot of sense. They could use another weapon at the tight end.
The Redskins.
And the Redskins. Those were the 2 teams I said, the Redskins and the Patriots. Yeah.
Without a doubt. Damian Ramey says there's a ton of Philly 500 loyal supporting you, Baddog. Keep up with the subs. Oh, I always do. I love Philly. Philly 500 is my guy. I mean, everybody knows that. I work with Philly 500 all the time. I talk to Philly 500 all the time. I love him. That guy is unbelievable.
He's a dingbat.
He is a dingbat. Well, that's what I was talking about. We were a couple. I was telling him because Brunson was asking me how to use the green screen and stuff. He's like, I see you and Philly. I said, listen, if Philly and I can figure it out, we're 2 dingbats. You'll figure it out pretty easily, without a doubt. Al Bats, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly, brother. Any update on our 2 felons, Baker and Rosas? I haven't heard any updates. Baker's going to be fine. Rosas is going to be gone, in my opinion.
Yeah, no updates outside of what I've reported that I've seen. Baker, last I checked, seems like it's near a foregone conclusion that he's probably going to be let off. As far as Rosas goes, I think all the evidence points to that he did it. And if he did, I would be surprised, especially being that he's a kicker, if he's back with the New York Giants. So I think Baker will be back. We don't know how long the case is going to take, but I do think I think there was something they said in the deal that he's allowed to at least practice with the Giants while the case is still going on. And if that's the case, I would think he's going to be allowed to play while the case is still going on. So I expect Baker to be with the Giants this year. I expect Rosas not to be.
Damian says, Dingbat Nation, you content creators are getting us through COVID. Well, we say it all the time. You guys are getting us content creators through COVID too, because you guys still come out, you still support the channels, you watch the videos, you come up with great questions, you're productive in the chat. So that's why Chris and I say this ad nauseum. And no matter how many times you say it, it's not enough how much we appreciate, your support on everything we do. So you guys are getting us through it too, without a doubt.
Yeah, you guys are incredible. I can't say it enough, guys.
Where did I see? Oh, Tulsa Times says, "What's up with the Washington Potatoes?" Because I have seen that all over Twitter. That they said, "Well, the Redskins just changed their logo, and they have like a potato on the side of their helmet." I saw it all over Twitter about just change their logo. Like I said, I just think there's so many more important things in the world right now than a football team's name, but. Yeah, the guy on YouTube.
If you're gonna pick that battle, and I don't know who started that, but if you're gonna pick that battle, pick it. Don't pick it right now.
Right.
It's not. I don't know. Whatever. At the end of the day, I don't care either way. Like you said, it's the name of a football team. If they feel like it's offending people, go ahead. I don't honestly care, but I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be a huge topic of discussion.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't care what they do. They're just play football. I don't care. I don't care what the hell you call them. It doesn't matter what their name is. We're gonna take the broom out and sweep the hell out of them anyway. Let's call them the Broomskins because we sweep them all the damn time anyway.
Right.
I mean, my God, Jay Watt, we appreciate this. Says you guys are legends. Again, I wouldn't go that far.
Thank
in
you.
in our own mind, maybe. LA Lou, thank you for the super chat. LA Lou, Brilly Magamani says, sorry, guys. Well, sorry, bad dog. Chris don't care. But he says, but the Dodgers are just too stacked. The rotation is at least 8 deep, and we have at least 6 guys we could call up who would do damage. The DH is actually an advantage, young and good. I agree, LA Lou. The Dodgers are very stacked. Yankees, Dodgers World Series, and the Yankees win. Listen, I have no problem with making it there. But listen, you know if it's Yankees, Dodgers, and the Dodgers win, I'd be very happy. I've got a lot of Dodgers fans that come into because they're Laker fans, obviously. But I got a lot of LA fans. So if the Yankees are going to get beat by a team, let it be the Dodgers. That's just how I look at it. It'd be better than losing to a cheating team.
Let it be the Mets. Let it be the Mets.
It could be the Mets too. Like I said, if the Mets make the playoffs, I root for the Mets. I don't hate the Mets. I've never hated the Mets. I mean, when they won in '86, I was jealous. I'll admit that. I was 10, and the Yankees, hadn't made the playoffs, so I was jealous. But going back and obviously knowing the history now, I loved what they did, and I tell you, Chris, all the time. A lot of times I go to bed at night and I always play the Game 6 of the '86 World Series or Game 6 of the NLCS. Those Mets teams just never gave up. And they won 108 games, but they were down 3-0. Game 6 at the top of the ninth, they come back to tie it. They would have faced Mike Scott, who dominated them, and they didn't, get that done. And then they were dead to rights against the Red Sox. And
everybody, and a lot of people don't realize I think they were down 3 runs in Game 7 after they beat the Red Sox in Game.
Yeah,
7.
they were down 3-0 in the 4th inning. Yep,
yeah.
And they came back. Yeah, it's just crazy. The Mets just never gave up. That's the heart of a champion.
Yeah,
they did it. Spunky, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly. Yes, of course. And of course, he says the Washington Foreskins would be a great new name. It might as well be. Can you imagine that logo?
Yeah, that would be that would definitely get some attention. That's for sure.
That logo is on the top of the meat church. I understand, Chris.
Yeah. And I think I saw Jay say that I feel really bad for Bill Buckner not his fault. I actually agree with that. And obviously, he committed an error, and it was. But here's the things that a lot of people don't realize. One, the Mets had already tied the game.
Yep.
The game was tied. They had already surrendered the lead, and there's a good chance the Mets win anyway with all that momentum. 2, I think Mookie beats that ball out. Now, of course, the run doesn't score, but I think it's 1st and 3rd. 3, that year, every game, because Buckner had bad knees, the manager would pull Buckner before the 9th inning for defensive purposes. But for some reason, in the most important game, when you have a 2 or 3 run lead going into the 9th, the 2-run lead, he decides not to pull him for defensive purposes. So
you know what it was? Buckner was such a classy veteran guy. He wanted him on the field when they won, and that's why he kept him there. But that definitely wasn't Buckner's fault. If you go back and watch it, the Red Sox bullpen was terrible. Bob Stanley was trash. Bob Stanley and Calvin Schiraldi were so scared in that situation. And Bob Stanley pissed. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, so I hate the Red Sox with a passion. You put them right up there with the Eagles and Cowboys. I hate them.
Yeah.
Listening to Bob Stanley throw Buckner onto the bus and say it was just a ground ball the first you make I wanted to punch him right in his soft face. I'm like, you blew the game by throwing a wild pitch.
Right.
So don't blame Buckner because you don't know that you would have won. You might not have lost on that particular play. But don't blame Buckner like you didn't have any fault in him losing. That pissed me. I was like, I can't believe he said that.
Right, and then they still could have won Game 7, and they didn't. So Buckner was
got a hand in that too.
Yeah, Buckner was the easy guy to blame. That's what they did.
Without a doubt. Clocks says Clocks' questions are always good. I think Clocks hates the Giants.
Yeah, I think he might too.
Let's read this one. He says, "How do you figure Parcells' assistant?" Coughlin, Peyton, Belichick are Hall of Famers, and Belichick's assistants have a real hard time. Is this a negative for Belichick? Actually, that was a good question.
That is a good question.
Sometimes the clocks, I'm like, I don't know.
Here's the thing that I'll say to that. I don't think it's a negative to Belichick. I think when you really look into it, I did a video on this. When you really look into the guys that have coached under Belichick and the situations they've gone to, they've almost all been incredibly horrible situations. Romeo Crennel went to the Browns that were I think they went 0-16 before he got there. Jim Schwartz went to the Lions. They went 0-16 the year before he got there. He actually got them to the playoffs 3 years later. He's never credited with that. There's been a number of guys that have gone through really bad situations. Now, there's certainly been some failures, But the one thing I'll say, Eric Mangini actually got the Jets to the playoffs the first year he went there when they didn't have much high of expectations, and I think it set the bar too high. But the other thing I'll say about Belichick, you can make the argument, much like the players that are on his football team, he gets the most out of his coaches. Yep. And hopefully that's not the case with Joe Judge, but you can make that argument as well. I don't think it's a knock on Bill Belichick at all.
Right. And again, don't forget, I mean, he also coached under Joe Judge, coached under Nick Saban. So you got two of the best football minds in the history of the game, at the collegiate and at the NFL levels. So Kenny Tompkins, my boy, what's going on? The 518 is in the house. How do I feel about Spencer Rattler? Spencer Rattler is going to be fine. Oklahoma is going to win the Big 12 again. Bakari Rambo is going to have a big year. So is I think Hazelwood got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. I thought Jaden Hazelwood got hurt. I don't remember, but Oklahoma's going to win that, and then they'll get smoked by an SEC team. It's every year. It happens every year. But I think Rattler will be fine if they play. I don't know if they're going to play. I definitely have to bet BVD something. And they play Tennessee week 2, and BVD's telling me that the freaking, the Volunteers are going to beat Oklahoma. I'm like, stop. Just stop. You're crazy. You're crazy. It's not happening. And I see a lot of Redskins names there. Washington Tryhards.
Washington Tryhards. All right.
How about I got a name for Washington. How about the Giants bitch?
That's a good one.
How about that?
That's a good one. The Giants broomstick.
Right. 2 wins for the Giants. I mean, if there's only one team we can talk trash to, and it's Washington. Poor Redskins fans. How bad is your team when the Giants can talk trash to you? That's bad. And I don't even hate the Redskins at all. I don't like them, but I really don't hate them like I do the other teams.
I don't hate the Redskins either.
It's from my upbringing, though. I always respected Joe Gibbs. I loved those 80s Redskins team. I loved the players on those teams. They were classy, hardworking, professional guys. And, Dexter Manley and LT used to do some booger sugar together, but that is what it is. But I like those Skins teams. I hated those Eagles teams, and I hated I didn't hate the Cowboys growing up, but the 90s Cowboys made me hate them.
Oh, I hate them.
Because of the bandwagon fan base.
Yeah. Eagles are by far my most hated.
Yeah. So I never hated the Redskins, but obviously I like to, we're in the NFC, so I like to trash talk, obviously.
Yeah, you gotta have a little fun.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Brilly, he says, quiz question. When Henry Aaron passed Babe Ruth, it was against the Dodgers. Which former Yankee was pitching and who was in left field? Well, I know the pitcher was Al Downing. That I do know. And the left fielder, oh, God, who was in left field?
I don't go back that far. I don't know.
Well, I don't go back that far either. I mean, Justin Leone thinks I do. He thinks I had dinner with Babe Ruth. God. No, I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, I can't think of who was the left fielder for the Yankees. L.A. Lou comes up with the toughest questions because L.A. Lou knows more baseball than me. I feel like I know a ton of baseball. He knows more. Can't wait for some baseball streams.
Faulkner was in left field.
No kidding.
That's what he wrote.
Wow. There you go. I would have never got that one.
Interesting.
L.A. Lou is the man. Benjamin is the man. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Brilly. He says, Chris, I never understood why you don't go to strip club. It's a manly thing. Baddog is married, so I don't blame him.
I'll tell you why I don't go to strip clubs. 1, it's a waste of money. 2, it's the ultimate tease. I'd rather have the real thing. That's why I don't go to strip clubs. I think you go there, they charge you $20 for a beer, and I think it's a waste of money. I think it's the biggest tease in the world. I was never a big strip club fan.
If you go to the ones in AC, you can actually bring your own beer in there.
That is true.
So you go in there, you bring a 30 rack of Miller Lite, and you enjoy the rest of your night. 30 rack of Miller Light's like $18.
Yeah.
Piece of cake. You don't need to pay. You don't need to pay them. You don't have to give them a dime if you don't want to. And if you do give them a dime, don't throw them at them. I learned that lesson too. Don't do that. But yeah, no, when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I was a big strip club. I mean, I'm a guy. And it didn't matter. I go to bars, I go to clubs, I go to strip. I didn't care. Any place I could go that there was women, I was going when I was a late teen, early 20s guy. That's what you do when you're 19.
Well, when you're 20, yeah.
You're You're not as old as me, but you're not 19.
It's not. I'm not. It's just not my thing. It's never been my thing. I'd rather actually not pay the $20 for a lap dance and just have it for free.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It depends on how much the dinner is, though. You might be paying more than $20.
That's a very good point.
Okay, moving on. Gary Petrano, thank you for the super chat. Really, but that's why this show is great. You never know where it's going to go at this point because there's not a lot of football to talk. And of course, everybody loves the talking nonsense, which Chris and I got to figure out a date for talking nonsense.
Yeah, it might be all season if we don't have football.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Kyle, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says the New York Giants will run this division in a couple of years. No other team in our division can't even decide on their quarterback or even their name. We are Big Blue, stand up. It's a great question. It's a great statement because there are question marks with every quarterback in this division outside of ours, if you think about it.
Well, once there's injury concerns, that's why they drafted a quarterback in the second. Dak, you don't know if he's going to be there.
Right.
They franchise tagged him. And Haskins, you don't know. In fairness, there's still a question mark with Jones, but I think he's much less of a question mark than Haskins. But yeah, I agree with that in terms of Wentz's health, and in terms of you don't know if Dak's going to be. I don't think Dak's going to be there. I think he's going to be there one more year after this year, and then I don't think they're going to sign him.
You know what I want? I want Dallas to pay him a ton of money. Yeah. But if they don't pay him a lot of money, and he goes somewhere else, he goes to Minnesota. No, they have Cousins. If he goes to Carolina, they have Bridgewater, right? Hey, he could still go to Carolina. Bridgewater could be a backup. He goes to Carolina, and he stinks there. I want Cowboy fans to come back and tell me how great Dak Prescott was. I want you to say, tell me how good again he was if he goes somewhere else and fails. I want you to tell me how good he is like you tell me now. Because that's what I want to see.
Well, I definitely think Dak's in a perfect spot. Yeah. That's for damn sure. But I think but the one thing I'll say, and I don't like to give Dak credit. I hate the Cowboys. I do not like Dak. The one thing I will say, there's a lot of quarterbacks that get put in the right situation and they can't make the most out of it. To his credit, he's made it. He's made the most out of what he's been given, or close to the most out of what he's been given. But I agree, if you put him in a situation like the New York Giants, like what Eli Manning had, Dak Prescott's not even a starting quarterback. Yeah, I really don't. I really believe that. I don't even think he's a starting quarterback if you give him as bad of a situation as the New York Giants had over the last 5 years. If he was drafted by the New York Giants, he's not a starting quarterback.
Can you imagine Daniel Jones behind that offensive line?
Oh, he's all pro. He's all pro.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Clock says, I love my Giants. Just the inconsistency losing his heart. No, Clocks, we're all frustrated. I mean, that's one thing I say all the time. And I watched Cobb Pizzle's video and he was talking about how we have a bunch of boneheads, that are always getting in trouble off the thing. And he's like, he's like, a lot of people blame Eli Manning. He's like, I gave Baddog a really hard time about that. But it's not so much Eli Manning. It's just our organization's been bad. And I completely agree with him. But when Cobb and I, when we squashed the beef and we're cool now, one thing that we say all the time is, that we were probably we're mad at the Giants. We're not like mad at each other. And because the fan base is so sick of losing, if you have an opinion on what you think what's going to make the Giants better, you're really sticking to it. And at the end of the day, we all want what's best for the Giants, but we don't all agree on how we're going to get there. So I think that's why you see Giants fans clash. Like, a lot of guys don't like Gettleman. A lot of guys do like Gettleman. Some people don't like Daniel Jones. I didn't like him when we drafted him. I love him now. Some guys are talking about trading Saquon Barkley. Some guys want Barkley to be a Giant for the rest of his life.
Yeah, there's completely different mindsets. Some people think that you're not a fan if you don't think the team's going to the playoffs every year. Every fan has their own way that they think that you should root for the team, and every fan thinks that one individual is the problem, and everybody has their different theories. Let's put it that way. Me and you, we're both Gettleman guys. We don't blame Gettleman for the majority of the team's problems, but there's definitely a lot of. You go on Twitter, 90% of Twitter says it's all Gettleman's fault. So
yeah.
So there's definitely different mindsets when it comes to the New York Giants.
Yeah. Baddog, did Toga get a bad storm yesterday? It's carnage here, trees down everywhere. Yeah, I lost power, Kenny. I actually was afraid I wasn't going to get to Saratoga got hammered yesterday. We all got hammered in the capital region. Big storms. We had storms at A2. Not more big storms. The humidity here is 80. It was 85%. I worked out in the garage. I was dying. It was like I was underwater. It rained now just recently. It was hot as hell when I came down here initially, but I got the feeling when it's much cooler. So those storms must have passed in got rid of stuff. But it's been thundering here every day. We've had thunderstorms. I love it though. You give me that over snow any day. I like it.
For sure. Snow sucks.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
Al Bats, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for all the love tonight, guys. I really appreciate it so much, as always. I really do appreciate it. Brilly says, Naval Base still open right by MetLife? It's been 25 years. I honestly don't know. I don't remember seeing it or looking for it, or I don't remember driving by it. So I was in the back seat. DWG's woman friend dropped us off, so I don't even know.
I don't think so. I mean, not right by MetLife, that's for sure. I don't remember any naval base, but maybe I'm wrong.
Benjamin Wynn, thank you for the super chat, brother. Really, but he's really on this gentleman's club thing. Now he's 21. Now he's, he says, I am Chris's designated wingman. With that being said, Katie Nolan is single and ready to mingle. She's pretty damn attractive, Chris. You guys are the same age.
I'll have to look into Katie Nolan.
Yeah, she's pretty hot. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe she's not. I'm probably not in her league then. But
there's but with that being said, there's a lot of women Chris's age that are attractive and single and ready to mingle.
Yeah.
But Uncle Lou and BVD have talked about doing this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to set up a Tinder account for Chris and see what happens. How about that? We enter Tinder is what we're going to call it. Enter Tinder talking sports.
I like that.
Oh God, we need sports, Chris.
We'll do live. That'll be our live streams. If there's no football, we'll go on my Tinder account and try to set up dates for 2 hours.
LA Lou, thank you for the super chat. Brilliant. Mike May says, off topic again, another quiz question. LA Lou needs to be on a quiz show. Like I said, I thought I was good at sports trivia. LA Lou is the man. He says, when Branch Rickey left the Dodgers, which future Puerto Rican legend did he take with him to Pittsburgh? Well, that's got to be Clemente.
Yeah.
That's got to be Roberto Clemente.
Yeah.
Roberto Clemente's, it's one of my favorite cards in my sports card collection, is Roberto Clemente rookie. I love that card. Clemente I wish I could have saw Clemente play. Well, there's a lot of guys I wish I could have saw play, but I'd be 65 if that was the case. So
what a shame that was. Roberto Clemente. I mean, obviously I didn't get to see him play live, but he was known for his arm, right? He had an unbelievable arm.
He was like Vladimir Guerrero is a lot of people compare Vladimir Guerrero to Clemente. They were very similar, where they could do everything. Hit for average, hit for power. Well, Clemente wasn't a huge power hitter, but he's a 300 hitter, 3,000 hits, one of the greatest outfielders ever. That's why I love Vlad.
Who's the greatest 5-tool player since you've been watching? I think Willie Mays is of all time, but since you've been watching, who's the greatest 5-tool player?
Gotta be. I mean, Bonds. Gotta be Bonds.
Do you think? Okay, here's my question. Do you think it was Bonds before the steroids? And I know he was a great 5-tool player before the steroids. He did the 40-40.
He wasn't a 5-tool player after the steroids. He stopped stealing bases. Before the steroids, he was a 30-30 guy every year.
So you think he was before the steroids? You think he was the best 5-tool player you've ever seen?
Yes, I do. I do. Him and A-Rod.
What about Griffey? Before he got broken, he never stole a lot of bases.
Yeah, right. So I still think it's Bonds. Bonds at this. Griffey was amazing too.
He was an unbelievable defensive fielder.
So good. And I'll tell you a guy that was amazing, but injuries curtailed his career, was Eric Davis. That guy was he and Barry Bonds were the same player. I loved Eric Davis. Eric Davis was so good. I remember 1987. Now, he would have had to got hot to do this, but it's definitely possible. He could have been in the 50-50 club. He missed 33 games in 1987. He hit 37 homers. There's no doubt he would have been in the 40-40 club, and nobody's ever hit 40 homers and sold 50 bases. Eric Davis would have done that. That's how good Eric Davis was for the Reds.
Oh, Eric Davis was a freak. He was a freak. It was a freak athlete. Another guy, somebody said in the chat, it was a really good one, was I just saw it, and I was like, I got to mention it. Who was it? It was I lost. Oh, Trout. Obviously, Mike Trout could be.
He strikes out too much, and he's not a high average hitter.
Isn't he like a 310 career hitter, Mike Trout?
I think he might be around 300, but he doesn't steal a lot of bases anymore either.
I gotta look at his numbers.
I don't know how
maybe I'm wrong. I thought he had better career numbers than that.
He does strike out a ton. So I mean, he's the best player this generation, like right now.
Not even a debate.
Christian Yelich is a 5-tool player. That's a 5-tool player right now.
Yeah. Yeah, Trout has 200 career stolen bases, but he only had 11 last year. He's a 305 career hitter, 285 career home runs. Pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's great. But I never think for some reason I never think of him as a 5. Maybe because of his size. You know, like Eric Davis, Ken Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds, they were very wiry. Trout's a linebacker.
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't picture him like that, you know.
Beltram was another good, not on that level, but he was a very good 5-tool player.
So was Strawberry.
Who is the best defensive center fielder you've ever seen? Just pure you think it's Andrew Jones?
Griffey.
Andrew Jones is pretty damn good, and so was Torrey Hunter, so was Jim Edmonds.
Torrey Hunter, great. But
Kenny Lofton was good. There was a lot of good defensive
Griffey killed it. Griffey always used to take homers away from the Yankees.
Yeah.
He's crazy.
He was a freak.
You know, L.A. Lou, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, my man, he says, I have to mention this. Roberto Clemente was known for the basket catch. He liked to catch the ball at his waist. Unthinkable now. Yeah, I think Major League. Nice catch, Hayes. Don't ever effing do it again.
That's a great movie. That's
it's the best. It's
the
Baddog, should we get Everson Griffin? No, I think we're done with the free agents TQs. I don't think we need Everson Griffin. I think you either next year you either draft or you go after Melvin Ingram or Joey Bosa because they're not both being tagged. So
yeah, he just doesn't fit our defense, and I just don't see I don't see it. He's a 4-3 guy. I don't see it.
If you never saw Willie Mays, you never saw the GOAT. A lot of people think Willie Mays is the greatest overall player ever. A lot of people say Mickey Mantle is the greatest overall player ever. There was always that Willie Duke and Mickey. They always, they were in the boroughs, and they always had the who's the best. Mike Trout or Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, the greatest player I've ever seen. It's not close.
Yeah, if you don't factor in steroids, it's got to be Bonds.
Even with steroids, he became modern day Babe Ruth. Well, all the guys were on steroids, and
no, that's what I meant. With the if you don't take that against him, it's got to be Barry Bonds.
Just regardless, he's still the best player ever. I saw. The guy was hitting 370. And
that's with steroids, though.
Yeah, but they all took him.
Yeah.
He dominated everybody. He was insane.
Yeah,
he's a Hall of Famer. I don't care that he.
He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You're gonna put one guy that used PEDs in the Hall of Fame. It should be Barry Bonds.
I think there's a number of guys. I think A-Rod should get in. I think there's a number of guys. Roger Clemens should get in, but they cheated. But they like you said, I think the majority of baseball players were cheating back then.
Giants Alliance says, who's the most underrated Giant ever?
Yeah, we get asked this question a lot. Tiki's a good one. Corey Webster. That's a tough question.
Leonard Marshall's the guy that I always say. Leonard Marshall's the most underrated Giant that I know. Big Leonard was awesome.
It might be Tiki, at least since I've been watching the team. But it's his own fault. But it might be Tiki that I don't think fans appreciate enough how good of a player he was because of the way he left off with the football team. It might be Tiki Barber.
Jimmy Guzman. It's a ways away, Jimmy. So you have the market on Cal. He says, when and what time is the Lakers games? I can listen to your stream. July 30th, they play at 9:00 Eastern time against the Clippers. I'll be live at 8:45. That's how it goes. Bavaro was a stud, Kevin, but he was injured a lot. He had like 2 good years, and then he really couldn't stay healthy.
Who's your 5 breakout players for the G-Men this year? Raymond, Ray Sosa, I think it's the majority of those guys hopefully are going to be on the defensive side. They got a lot of guys with a lot of upside. I'm not going to count rookies because they're not – what are they breaking out from? So I will say on the offensive side, I think I'll just give you candidates. I think Hernandez is a candidate. I think Slayton's a candidate. On the defensive side, I think you got all the young pass rushers are candidates. Lorenzo Carter, O'Shane Zimenez. I think Dexter Lawrence is definitely a candidate. I think Peppers is a candidate. I think DeAndre Baker is a candidate. Those are the names. That's those 7 guys. Hopefully 5 of them.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think breakout players have to be on the defensive side of the ball. I still think Daniel Jones is going to be incredible this year.
Daniel Jones is obviously another candidate.
And hopefully, Evan Ingram, we could use him. I think Sterling Shepard breaks out this year. I've been saying that all off season. So hopefully that happens. Hopefully they all break out and they surprise a lot of people.
Yeah.
Heartthrob Media, thank you for the super chat, my man. Brilly says, I was going to say Marshall playing an LT Shadow. Yeah, Leonard Marshall, I believe, led the league in sacks in 85. He had 15 and a half, if I'm not mistaken. He had 83 and a half career sacks. Had the huge hit on Leonard Marshall or on Joe Montana. We all remember that. If you're old enough to remember that, we all remember Leonard Marshall destroying Joe Montana. Leonard Marshall was a damn good player. Leonard Marshall was a damn good player. You never know he was a Giant. Like nobody ever talks about Big Leonard, and I love Leonard Marshall.
How about here's a guy I got, and I didn't get to appreciate him like you did. Everybody focused on the defense with those Giants teams, rightfully so. Phil Simms, is he a little bit underrated in terms of being a Super Bowl winning quarterback? Probably would have won 2 had he not gotten hurt. Phil Simms, he a little underrated?
Yeah, I mean he could definitely be underrated. I would say he had a rough start to the beginning of his career. He really never had any really big seasons, though. Even in 86, I think he threw more interceptions than touches. They were a bad offensive team in 86 till they got to the playoffs. Didn't help that Lionel Manuel was hurt most of that year, but he had Bavaro, he had Joe Morris, he had a great offensive line. And then in 1990, I don't know if they do make the Super Bowl. I think Hostetler's mobility helped the Giants get there. Honestly, I think they gave a whole other thing. But Simms is having a really great season in 1990. He only threw 4 interceptions the whole year, so. Yeah, I mean, he could definitely be underrated. I feel like Simms is a borderline Hall of Famer. I don't think he'll ever get in, but
here's my other question for you. Because I do think the Hall of Fame looks at it like he's only got 1 ring because he went down. And that's what I say about Carson Wentz. Right now, I think the Hall of Fame looks at it like he has none, even though he played 13 games that year. If Simms wins that ring, is he in the Hall of Fame?
I think you'd have to strongly consider it. With 2 Super Bowls, especially if you want another MVP, because he did win the MVP in '86. I think you'd have to. I think that would certainly help his case.
Yeah.
But I mean, he had some bad play. The game against the Rams, he played really poorly in '89. They should have beat that Rams team. No offense, LA Lou. Which thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna get that in 1 second. I just saw a question. TJ Carreras says most underrated Giant right now. For me, that's always tough because they all stink.
They're all underdeveloped. They're all young.
I mean, if you're
I'm gonna say, you know who I say? I say the same guy almost every time. I'm trying to think if I should go with somebody else. Oh man, I'm gonna go with Leonard Williams. I think a lot of Giants fans underrate him because of the trade. It was a bad trade, but I think Leonard Williams is a good player. So I think some Giant fans underrate Leonard Williams.
I would say Zeitler. I mean, Zeitler gets no love at all, but I mean, if there's one guy on our offensive line that's been consistent, it's been Kevin Zeitler. So I would say perhaps Zeitler is underrated because again, offensive linemen don't get it. They only get, you only get notoriety when you get blown by and give up a sack or you hold a trip or whatever you're doing, false start. It's the only time they're on TV. So you don't really ever hear anything about Zeitler. So I think he's kind of underrated. LA Lou, thanks for super chat. Brilly, my good man. He says, my very first Dodger game when I was a kid, was a 5'2" player, center fielder, Willie Davis. Power, speed, glove, and arm. He was a local kid from Manual Arts High School. See, how does LA Lou know all this stuff?
I couldn't even tell you some of the guys that I remember watching with the Mets when I was a kid. So. I could. I remember some of the Ty Wigginton and Mike Cameron was center field.
He was a Yankee too.
Yeah, he was. I remember some of those guys. Who was that? I'm trying to remember this. They had a second baseman who went to the Reds. I can't remember the guy's name. He was a speed guy. Can't remember his name. He's a white player. He's pretty good. But yeah, I'm thinking about some of those old time Mets. But I could never remember that. That's for sure.
God, I can remember some awful Yankees. I can remember Wayne Tollison and Joel Skinner and Henry Cotto and Jack Clark and Ron Kittle and, Steve Trout and, Cecilio Guante. And I remember all those terrible Yankee teams I grew up with, man. This is bad.
Josh Tolley, I remember the catcher for the Mets. He was garbage.
Wally Backman, LA says was a Wally Backman. I think Backman was a little before Chris's time.
Yeah, a little bit. Luis Castillo was not. I see that from Kevin Wall. Luis Castillo, he sucked. He was good with the Marlins, but he sucked with the Mets.
That seems to be the case with a lot of Mets that come from different teams.
Yeah, that's for
You're
sure.
snake bitten. The Met, it doesn't matter, man. You go to the Mets, all of a sudden it's like you lose your. It's like the Mets are the aliens from Space Jam, and they just steal the players' talent.
Right. No, you're right.
It's crazy. By the way, I didn't get to tell you, Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's my favorite day of the year.
They're paying him through 2035.
Yeah,
July 1st. So very, very nice. Can you imagine getting knowing you're getting $1 million a year for doing nothing?
For like 30 years.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him that my team is so stupid.
Trust me, the Yankees have had some pretty awful deals too. We just didn't stretch it out that far.
They could have paid him, I think it was like $5 million. They could have paid him right then and there, and they said, nah, we'll stretch it out. It turned out to be 30, 40 mil, whatever it was. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, we paid Kei Agawa a fortune. He pitched in Double-A. Jacoby Ellsbury didn't see the field half the time when his $155 million contract. Carl Pavano was trash.
Oh, Pavano.
Trust me, we've had some.
But the difference between the Mets and Yankees, you can make 10 mistakes and you just have the money to fix it. The Mets, if they make the Jason Bay mistake, set us back 3 years.
Yeah, Johnny T says Dale Bear. Dale Bear and Bobby Meacham got thrown out at the plate on the same play against the White Sox in '85. That was how you knew that was good. Dale Bear and Bobby Meacham were the left side of our. We were a good team in '85, and somehow we won with Dale Bear and Bobby Meacham. Bobby Meacham, he couldn't throw to first. He couldn't hit the savers. He sucked. Bobby Meacham was terrible. There were some bad Yankee players when I was growing up. You had to love Pags and Pascal. I loved Pagliarulo. Somebody actually sent me a picture and said I looked like Pagliarulo when he was younger. I say it all the time. I guess all Italian guys look the same. I don't know.
It's never too late, Chris. You got to join the Yankees. I can't.
I tell them all the time. I will turn my head, put the pinstripes on, and I'll act like nothing happened.
I can't do it. I know I should. It's like one of those things. It's like I'm in a relationship where my wife beats me, and I know I should leave her for greener pastures, and I can't do it. I'm just hoping that 1 year she's a good wife and she doesn't beat me. But the Mets have been beating me for 34 years.
In other words, Chris likes it rough because he's a Knicks fan too. There you go. There you go. What do I do for NASA? Baddog? I pretty much just talk about moon theories, and I use green screens and special effects. I'm a special effects guy for NASA. You can ask Philly 500 about that. Glad the Yankees took Jacoby. Sabrina's a Mets fan. I gotta be. No Yankee fan is happy.
I actually think she's a Red Sox fan.
Oh, well, that
makes sense.
Even more sense.
Yeah, they took Jacoby. Yeah,
that makes even more sense. Benjamin says, "Hell no! If my wife beats me and not my meat, I'm out of there."
Oh no! In real life, I'd be out of there, but because it's sports and I'm not actually getting beat, I take the torture.
Yeah.
It was a big mistake in my life. It was a huge mistake. It was the biggest sports mistake I ever made.
We all make them.
Yeah,
big mistake. Yeah, that's it happens.
I blame Piazza.
Well, I mean, the Mets were exciting when Piazza was there.
Yeah, he made me a diehard. So, I blame him, man.
I just followed it because of, like I said, my dad and my grandfather. It's just embedded in my blood. My son's actually, he's starting to pay attention a little bit. He knows who Saquon Barkley is. He knows who Daniel Jones is. We're teaching him little by little. He loves wrestling though. I don't know. He's like, Daddy, I want to watch Hulk Hogan. He loves old school wrestling. Go figure. Daddy, I was watching the '96 Survivor Series. I taped it. I forgot I taped it because it started with like the Bret Hart. I missed half of it, but Stone Cold Steve Austin, Bret Hart, one of the greatest matches ever. So that's on. I'm watching it. He comes in, he lays with me, and he's like, "I want Hulk." And then Psycho Sid came on, and he's like, "Daddy, who's that?" I said, "That's Psycho Sid." He goes, "I like him." I go, "You would." Psycho Sid. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, man. It's hilarious, but it's.
Oh, Kevin Wallman, that is a brutal memory. He says my first Mets memory is Carlos Beltran getting his knees buckled, Game 7, against Adam Wainwright with that nasty curveball. Yeah, that was over my friend's house for that. That was brutal. I have some bad. I got the '99 NLCS against the Braves. Mets down 3-0. They come back. They win games 4 and 5. Ventura with the walk-off grand slam single. Yep. And then game 6, the bullpen blows it. They go to like 11 or 12 innings. Kenny Rogers walks in the winning run.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's how they end the season. That was the first time I cried over a sporting event. I was like 13, 14 years old. That was a brutal one in 99.
Kenny Rogers tried to kill it for us in 96. He was terrible for the Yankees too. He was awful. So when he went and walked in the winning run of the Mets, they go, that's fitting. The guy can't pitch in New York, plain and simple. Doesn't matter what stripes he's wearing. He stunk. You know, I will say this. I won quite a bit of money on the Cardinals that year. I picked them to win the World Series before the playoffs start. Like, they had betting odds. They had futures bets, and the Cardinals were 20 to 1.
82 games that year, didn't they?
The Cardinals were 20 to 1, and I said, the hell with it. I said, I'm going to throw $20 on them and see what happens. And then I hit 2. My friend's mother did World Series squares that paid $300 a piece. I hit 2 World Series squares, so I won $1,000 in that World Series. It was
nice,
pretty good.
Nice. I was heartbroken.
L.A. Lou, thank you for the super chat. Brilly. He says Phil Simms was Daniel Jones. When he was drafted in the first pick with the 7th round at a 79 at a Morehead State, everybody, including me, said who? Oh, I mean, that reaction's legendary. And I've actually compared them myself, L.A. Lou. And I said, if Daniel Jones can do what Phil Simms did, well, I'll forgive him. But even, oh God, what was the commissioner's name? Was it Tagliabue? It wasn't Tagliabue.
Well, Tagliabue was the last one.
It's not him. Oh, Roselle. P. Roselle. Even he laughed. Even he laughed because of the reaction. He went back and looked at it again. And he's like, "Is that really who? Did I read the name right?" Almost. Yeah, it was crazy. You mentioned crying over it. 95 against the Mariners. I cried after that.
I remember watching that game.
We were up 2-0 in that series. It was a hell of a series. We had them on the ropes. In game 5, I was such a Mattingly guy, and Mattingly finally made the playoffs, and he was killing it. Mattingly gave the Yankees the lead, with an RBI double. Mattingly had so many clutch hits, and just the way they blew that, and never forget, Ken Griffey Jr. just flying around the bases and scoring. And I did. I bawled. I was like, I can't,
I remember watching. I wasn't really, I wasn't a dire Met fan yet at that point, so I was kind of rooting for the Yankees. I remember watching that with my dad, with Mattingly, when I was like 9, 10 years old. And yeah, that was a tough one. That Mariners team was loaded.
Yeah, well, Edgar Martinez still gives me nightmares. Punkham says that shit hurts. Mattingly deserved more. I completely agree.
They had Tino on that team too.
They had Tino, yeah, and then we ended up trading for Tino, which was great. Oh, Asia, Asia's unbelievable. I don't even know what to say anymore. Asia, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Unbelievable. I'm in Mark Holmes's video. There's Asia. I'm in Philly 500's video there. It doesn't matter who is making a sports video. She is everywhere. Asia's omnipresent when it comes to the sports community on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Brilly, my ladies. What up, Baddog? You loon? I just came from a Philly YouTuber stream, and they are passionate about their sports like you guys see. There you go. His name is Philly Take with RB. I'd love to see you collaborate with him. What do you think about the new female on the Giants? To address the first part about the collab, I've had, since I did those two, I got a lot of people now asking me to do more of those. And I said, it's tough because I don't really know a ton of content creation. I don't interact with a ton of content. There's just certain ones that I do. I'm trying to think of, I don't know a lot of skins guys, but somebody said, could you please work with this skins guy? So I'm glad that that's actually getting some traction. I'd have to do some research on some more guys. I would like to get Vach Lombardi. I don't know if he'd be interested from the Cowboys. I know he's a bigger YouTuber. I forgot what the Redskins guy's name was. Joey Shakes is a Philly guy that I would like to work with. So I'll figure it out. I would like to do one more of those before the season starts. Obviously, once the season starts, I'm not gonna have time to do a ton of those.
You have basketball and everything.
Basketball, baseball, football. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Like I said, hopefully in the middle of the season at some point, I can do the NFC East thing again, or have those guys in the channel or be on their channel when we play them.
Right.
I think that would be fun. And what do we think about the new female on the Giants?
Yeah, we were asked that earlier, Asia. I just hope she does the job well. I don't really care if it's a male or a female. Just do the job well. There's no reason to think a woman can't do that job. So hopefully she goes out there, gets the job done, and we get some good players. I think she's like the lead scout or whatever it may be. So I'm sure the Giants liked what they saw, so they hired her. So yeah, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I mean, we just wanted to win. It doesn't matter. To just do a good job. Do a good job. And like Chris said, I don't think there's no reason she can't do a better job than who was there.
Right.
Think about it. So it'd be awesome if she turned the Giants around and got some notoriety and she became like a coordinator or something.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. That type of thing would be really cool. The hub, what's going on? I saw something I wanted to read over here. Baddog Yankees win if Mattingly comes back for the 96 season. I still think they do. That's not what I wanted to read, though. Jerry C says, Vaca Lombardi. Oh, somebody said EDP. Man, EDP ain't going to work with me. I would love to get it. EDP is not going to bother with me. Trust me.
Yeah.
Actually, EDP is not going to work with me. Just put it that way.
Yeah, he's got 2 million subs.
Yeah, he's not going to. He does know me. I mean, obviously, him and I have had some legendary trash talking battles, but he used to, like I said, he used to come in my when I first started streaming and just doing hangouts. I had 12 people in there. EDP was in there.
Really?
Yeah, EDP used to come to my streams all the time. All the time.
Huh.
Yep. That's what it was. Somebody asked me if Keith Hernandez should be in the Hall of Fame. That I didn't see who said it.
That's close. I mean, he might be the greatest defensive first baseman ever. I mean, he's up there. He won an MVP with the Cardinals. He won a World Series with the Mets.
He won a World Series with the Cardinals too.
And he won a World Series with the Cardinals. That's really close. I know he doesn't have the glamour stats. I think he should have gotten more consideration than he did. That's for sure.
If they put Alan Trammell in there, who is not a Hall of Famer, Dale Murphy should be in there. Keith Hernandez should be. I mean, they're talking about putting Lou Whitaker in there. I think Keith Hernandez is a Hall of Famer. Ozzie Smith is in there. Why is Ozzie Smith in there? Yes, he did steal almost 700 bases.
Well, the reason he's in there is because people look at shortstop as a much more important defensive position. That's why he's in there.
Right.
I don't think people give first base enough credit, though. When you're as good as Hernandez, you think about all the runs he saved the Mets. He was as good as it gets at the position.
Yeah, I personally. I mean, listen, I'm a baseball purist. So purity wise, no, I don't believe he's a Hall of Famer. I don't believe Trammell's Hall of Fame. There's a lot of guys I don't believe belong in the Hall of Fame. Jack Morris is not a Hall of Famer.
Kirby Puckett, probably not. He only played 10 years.
Right. And Kirby Puckett and Mattingly have very similar statistics, and Mattingly's not in there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I wouldn't put him in there, but if it was the Hall of Very Good, he would be in there.
And that's what it is.
Yeah. So, it is becoming that. So he made it in there.
Yeah.
D-Man, thank you for the super chat. Brilly, his thoughts on the Washington situation. We touched on that earlier. We both said pretty much there's much bigger issues in the world right now than a football team's name. But at the end of the day, we don't really care.
I think people are looking for something to talk about, something to complain about, because there's nothing to talk about now. What I'll say is I don't care either way. I honestly don't see why people are upset on either end. I honestly don't. I don't see why people are upset that they need to change the name when, like you said, there's much more important things to be focusing on right now. But if people find it offensive, I don't see the big deal. It's a sports team's name. I was a huge Red Men fan at the time, St. John's. Nobody really complained when they changed the name. They understood. So if it offends people, it's a team's name.
And they did that to Syracuse, right? They were the Orangemen. Now they're just the Orange.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, do I care one way or the other? No. I don't see why people are getting bent out of shape either way. But like you said, there's more important things to be worrying about.
And like we touched on, V-Man, it doesn't matter what they call their team. We're going to kick their ass anyway. We do it all the time. Al Bats, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. Again, I really appreciate all the love and support. I really do, guys. So thank you so much. Brilly. Al, he says, last question, then good night, fellas. Your opinion, which player did the Giants draft, then lost due to trade or free agency that had a great career? Ed McCaffrey, then take care of you two. I appreciate it, Al. Chris, I'll let you start with that because I have a guy.
Something I got to really think about. That's a great question. Ed McCaffrey's a good one.
There's one guy that comes right to mind for me.
Yeah,
Linval Joseph.
Linval Joseph is a good one.
How the hell we let Linval Joseph walk?
Linval Joseph is a good one.
That's the first one for me.
That's probably it, actually. Now that you say it, he was a very good defensive tackle. And that might end up being Dalvin Tomlinson because I don't know if we're going to be able to keep him. But I'm trying to think of other Giants that left and got better after they left, at least in recent times. Linval Joseph is probably it. And since I've been watching.
I mean, I'm trying to think of other guy, but that's just the first. I'm sure there's others, but that's the first one that comes to mind. And I see our girl Last Jedi is in the chat. Good to see Last Jedi. She's been MIA. She's going through some stuff, but it's always good to see our girl Last Jedi back in the chat. Welcome back, Last Jedi. You were missed, trust me.
Joe Jurevicius is a good one. He did well with the Bucks. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Olivier Vernon didn't get better after he left.
No, and he wasn't drafted by us anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't. JPP's played pretty well with the Bucks.
Yeah.
But I agree with the Linval Joseph because we didn't really get it out of him, and he was really good when he left. I think I agree. I think that's the one. At least since I've been watching. I think
he's the one that, like I said, right to top of my head. It's Linval Joseph.
Yeah.
Milfman says, what are your top 3 worst moves the Giants have made in their history? Okay, hiring McAdoo, hiring Shermer, and keeping Reese for so long.
I agree with that. I mean, Reese has to be probably number 1 because that set up everything else. In terms of player moves, I mean, probably every draft pick that Reese had his last 3 years. Whether it's Eli Apple, whether it's Eric Flowers, or whether it was a short-term thinking with the 2016 free agency. But I agree. I mean, it's Reese, and it's all Mara's fault at the end of the day. That's my opinion. Making that decision to fire Coughlin and keep Reese.
The Happy Huntsman says in trading Odell. See, I disagree. How many touchdowns? Let me put it this way. Daniel Jones had as many rushing touchdowns as Odell Beckham had receiving touchdowns last year. He's talking about wanting out of Cleveland. He did nothing for that team. They completely underachieved. He underachieved. They completely tanked. They were all bad. He did not help them win anything. And we got Dexter Lawrence, who is one of the best ranked rookie defensive players in the draft. And we got Jabril Peppers.
And you got cap space.
So
you got cap space to sign a guy like James Bradbury.
O'Shane Xemines.
And Bradbury, essentially. They got about $15 million in cap space. But I don't know. Here's what I think. The people in the chat honestly think if we had Odell on last year's team and we didn't have the players that you just said, we didn't have Dexter Lawrence, we didn't have O'Shane Ximines, we didn't have Peppers, and we didn't – well, that's it. We'll say that. We didn't have those 3 players, and we had Odell. Do you honestly think this team was going anywhere last year? Because I don't. You still had a horrible defense. So I don't think he would have added many wins. I think he would have hurt our draft picks. If anything, maybe we win an extra game or 2. At the end of the day, we didn't win with Odell. I don't think we were going to win if we kept him. I think this team was a couple of years away. It didn't fit the time frame of the team.
Right. I see Al Bat says, remember Ray Muskochance? Yeah, I remember Ray Handley. It's too bad Parcells decided to retire later in the friggin' day. We could have had Belichick as our head coach. We'd have 15 championships if Belichick was our head coach.
Yeah.
The Hub says, might be an off-topic question, but who is your number 1 running back right now? Even though I love Saquon, Christian McCaffrey takes it for now, as I expect Saquon to take it this season. I can definitely understand the McCaffrey thing. I think McCaffrey's fantastic, definitely up there. No doubt about it. I mean, overall, I still got to go Barkley. Nobody's as talented as Barkley. Barkley missed 3.5 games. He was hurt for 4, so he played like half a season healthy. With the worst offensive line ever, a rookie quarterback, a terrible head coach, and he ran for 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to say McCaffrey. I completely get that. He had one of the best statistical years ever last year. He had 1,000 and 1,000, led the league in everything. Just based off of last year, if you're looking at just the numbers, it's impossible not to say McCaffrey. McCaffrey had far and away the best year last year for any running back. But if we're basing it based off of this year and who I think has the most talent, who got a team that's much improved where it matters for a running back, the offensive line, I think Barkley's the most talented running back. There's a reason the guy went number 2 overall. There's a reason that everybody said when's the last time, Bad Dog, since you've been watching, that it was not even a debate? Everybody said in that draft that Saquon Barkley was the best player. Name another draft where a running back was the best player in any draft going into the draft.
I can't. Maybe Barry Sanders or Thurman Thomas.
You're going back 30 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I can think of.
Yeah. So that's how talented he is. So I just think he is far and away the most talented back. It's just a matter of having the line and staying healthy.
Damien says, Bad Dog, how do you feel about having Jason Garrett? I love it. I said it a bunch of times that I think Jason Garrett's going to make Daniel Jones into a Pro Bowl quarterback, and I stand by that. I think Jason Garrett's going to be very good. I think the comment and the fact that he's worked with Colombo on top of it, I think that Giants offense is going to be a top 10 offense this year. I really think you're going to see the Giants offense be really good. The defense is still a question because they're very inexperienced, and we have no pass rush. But I feel like that offense is going to be able to play with anybody this year. I really do. I think Garrett's going to help a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. What's going on, Mercedes, man? Thanks for popping in the stream, buddy.
Yes, I saw Mercedes the other night. I'm working on that Mercedes for the Bad Diggity Dizzle. I want one of those, CRV, because I'm a dad, so I need like the CRV Benz.
Yeah.
In a black. I said a black one of those would look good wrapped around me.
Yeah.
And I like these, this 4-wheel drive stuff. So you give me one of those.
Well, especially where you live.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt about that.
With the snow and everything.
Yes, no doubt about that. KP, like I said, the members only stream. I'm probably gonna have to push it back. I didn't realize Saturday was 4th of July. I'm not gonna be home tomorrow. So I gotta push that back a couple of days. But that is coming very soon. But when I set this thing up, because the days all blend together, I'm like, oh, that's 4th of July. I'm not gonna be home 4th of July.
Yeah, tomorrow I think we take off. I'll be live Sunday. Not tomorrow. We don't do it on the 4th of July.
Lake Notice says Bad Dog vanity. No, I would never get a vanity plate. But that might be a good way to advertise your channel.
The Bad Doggity Dizzle on the back of the plate. Yeah.
Right. Diggity Dizzle.
How much do you think Garrett was affected by Jerry Jones being in his ear? I think he was big time affected. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Garrett. I'm not saying Garrett was a good head coach. You look at the Dallas Cowboys offense last year, I think a lot of that had to do with Jerry Jones. They were a team that was very successful doing what they were doing, being a ground and pound team, relying on Zeke and that offensive line. They got away from that. Why would Jason Garrett ever want to get away from that? Mm-hmm. So to me, I think Jerry Jones saw a quarterback that he wanted to prove his worth with Dak Prescott. He wanted to open up the offense. I think a lot of that had to do with Jerry Jones.
Jay, where did I go? What Punkham said? Where the heck did that go? He says for the 4th, I'm gonna I just read gonna smoke, and right away I thought of the 420 crew. Him and Cushmaster are the the leaders. But he says I'm gonna smoke 8 racks of ribs and 3 briskets, and might be 4 racks of beef short ribs. Punkham, I'm coming over. That sounds good. As good as hell.
Can't go wrong with that.
Gary C says, "Ass man, yes, Cosmo Kramer. It's you're the ass man." Yeah, I love Seinfeld. Benjamin Wynn, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Brilly, my good man, says if your mom sends you a text and it reads "meant for dad," don't open it, and I mean don't open it.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea if your mom's sending you a text for your dad. Yeah, it's probably something that could change your life. You probably don't want to open that.
Yeah. Well, good for them that they could still text that stuff,
especially if it's a picture.
Yeah, that's what maybe it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't open that if it's a video.
It could be. It could have something to do with the meat church or the Washington Foreskins new logo.
Yeah. Don't open that.
Probably stay away from that, or don't open till Christmas.
Yeah.
You should get a sticker that says "Warning: if you're not a fan of the Giants, keep back 100 feet." Yes, I yeah. I mean, because there could be some great bumper stickers from me. And social distancing at the gym whenever they open up. That's the best thing I've ever heard in my life, because I hate when people are near me. So keep your 6 feet away. I think they should practice that even when this thing is done. And please. Well, unless it's there's certain specimens that I really don't mind, but most of the time I don't like people near me. Dire Giants fan, thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate it. Really, my good man. He says, mad respect to you both. Happy 4th, and don't pull a JPP. Chris, let me ask you this, and we'll wrap it up in like 5 minutes. When I was a kid, the only fireworks I ever used were sparklers. I have never lit a firework in my life.
Yep. I'm with you. I have never. First off, I want to say thank you to Dart. I saw him posting my movie channel the whole stream. So thank you for that. And thank you for being such a great supporter of both of ours. Yeah, same as you. I've only ever lit sparklers. I've never set off a firework. Now, some people like thrills in their life, right? Some people like to go bungee jumping. Some people like to jump out of planes. That was never me. I go on roller coasters. I was never a firework guy. Never saw the need to do it. I'll sit back. I'll watch. But I never saw the need to do that. It was a little too dangerous for me, so I would never do it.
That's why I didn't do it. Meet Torian, thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate it, my man. Brilly says, good night, guys. Thanks for streaming. You don't ever need to thank us for that. We thank you for being here. He says, have a happy and safe 4th. Yes, you do the same. And again, quick shout out to Dire Giants fan, because as always, I couldn't do this without Dire Giants fan.
There you go.
I love that I can do that. He's the man. Philly Talk Podcast, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. By the way, they got a really good channel over there. If you're Eagles fans, you don't know about them. I didn't even realize I wasn't subscribed to that channel until they commented sometime like, how am I not subscribed to them? So if you guys haven't subscribed to Philly Talk Podcast, check them out. Brilly says, you keep it 100. You hate the rest of the NFC, but you still keep it real. Let's get this YouTube fantasy. Yeah, I'm supposed to look into that. I have to look into that. I have to look into the fantasy thing, because it's all over Twitter, and I'm just like, I got to look into that, and then I never do.
Well, is that the thing with Fisk and Lord Brunson?
Yeah, I suck at fantasy football.
We're doing that. You're doing it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm so bad at it. You got to let me know what it is, but I'll be in. I'll be in.
We got to have some kind of prize or something.
Yeah, I don't know what the prize is going to be. Jared Williams, what's going on? I didn't see Jared Williams in here. There he is. He says, boom. Dire Giants fan says, let's just sports experts going live after this. So you go over there and check him out. I saw all those games, 95 Griffey, Yankee kill. Yeah, he killed us. 24-hour stream will be much easier, hopefully. It'll be a lot easier on my back, Dire Giants fan. I can tell you that. I would get up off the chair, and go up this, and I could barely walk. That thing hurt my back so bad.
Yeah, I could never do a 24-hour stream ever, but let alone in a wooden chair. That's crazy.
John Smith says, why the truncated picture? When I watch these back or listen to them back, I listen to them a lot of times, but sometimes I watch them back. And I hate that I can't shrink my camera down for StreamYard. And then like my face is right in there. I don't like that. So I noticed I could do this and back it off a little bit. I mean, Stephen Lilly, I don't know where Stephen is. I hope Stephen's doing well. I haven't seen him, but he always says you have faces for radio. So I don't want my face right in the camera like that. Who the hell wants to look at that? So I put us back. We're practicing social distancing. That's why I did it. Philly Talk Podcast. Thanks again for the super chat, my man. Appreciate it. Brilly says shout out to Up Tainah.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you very much.
And Subo23, great supporter of both of our channels. Up there, our friend north of the border, Brilly says it sucked when Andrew Whitworth inquired about signing with the Giants as a free agent, and Reese didn't give him the time of day. I remember that. God, Reese made so many boneheaded moves.
Well, he never invested in the offensive line when it came to free agency. The only time he did was Jeff Schwartz, and that failed miserably.
Everything he did with our offensive line failed miserably.
Yeah, he just didn't put an importance on that position, and when he did in the first round of the draft, they were bad picks. He was just bad. Jerry was just bad.
He was he was awful. And I brought that up about them not taking Tony Gonzalez last night. That the Kansas City Chiefs in 2008 offered us a Tony Gonzalez for a 4th round pick, and Reese said no, I'll give you a 6th round pick. Guy, I don't. He was bad. He had won the draft in 2007. We won a Super Bowl, and I remember. I mean, I was on board. I'm like, in Reese we trust. That was our motto.
Well, of course, you won a Super Bowl in his first year.
And then it was bad. Mark Edelman, what's going on? He says, "What's up, boys? Can people just get off Gettleman's back and let him do his thing?" Mark Edelman, great supporter of both of ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, how, Giants fans are just aggravated in general with the losing. And, we're just kind of, you see Giants fans clash a lot because we are losing. So some Giants fans want to blame Gettleman. Some Giants fans want to blame Daniel Jones. Some Giants fans want to blame the ownership. Some Giants fans want to blame Jerry Reed. It just depends. Some Giants fans wanted Isaiah Simmons. Some Giants fans wanted an offensive lineman. So
people want to point the finger. That's it. And some people pointed at Gettleman. Some people pointed somewhere else. But when you're losing, everybody gets the blame. It's just that Gettleman's getting the most because they haven't been winning since he got there. But people don't take into account how bad the team was when he got there and how bad the future was when he got there. So
right. And how bad, how restricted we were on cap space.
Right.
When he got here. So he had a terrible, he was coming in here with an over-the-hill quarterback whose best days are well behind him, an offensive line in shambles, no linebackers whatsoever, which was still a question, no secondary, bad backloaded contracts of players that, weren't performing, a headache in Odell Beckham. And, he did what he could. He went out, he got the best left tackle that was available. He failed. He went out and traded for Al Ogletree. It failed, but he was addressing needs.
Right.
And they just didn't work out. But he's been here for 2 years.
Yeah. He inherited an absolute mess, and people are only giving him 2 years. So that's a problem for me.
So, Chris and I agree with you. I think we need to just give Gettleman, if by year 4 this isn't straightened out, then yeah, I think 4 years is a good turning point. But you can't fire a GM when he has a second-year quarterback.
Yeah.
You can't do that. It's not going to work. So,
yeah.
But listen, guys, it is 10 after 11. We are going to wrap it up. Again, just want to say, thank you guys and girls so much. Never say it enough. Really, really appreciate all support. It's unbelievable how there's not much football to talk about, but yet you guys and girls are always here. It seems like these streams are growing even, and the Giants are bad. Wait till we have football and the Giants are 9-1.
Yeah, that'd be nice. A couple of years we're 9-1, and then we'll have more people here than in the stadium.
Yes, well, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But if you haven't done so, make sure you guys go into that description. Click on the link to the Up Tainah Talkin Sports. We will do this show on his channel next week. We always alternate channels. We also stream the Giants games together, and those are always a lot of fun. So make sure you subscribe to him. And again, if you were looking at our beautiful faces and not the banner going across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun this year if and when we have football. Really looking forward to it. Like Baddog said, we're gonna have we'll be streaming the games just like we did last year. And if we don't have football, well, we're gonna have a nightly talk show where we alternate channels every other night. So we'll probably be doing that 4 nights a week. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we have football, and let's be optimistic. And I can't wait for that to be the case. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. And again, like we've been saying the entire stream, you guys have been incredible to both of us. You guys continue to show support. You continue to watch our videos, tune into our live streams. We can never say thank you enough. I mean, you guys give us a reason to be on YouTube. So thank you guys for all your love and support. Looking forward to being live on Sunday on my channel. Looking forward to having Baddog on probably Friday next week. And should be a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. This show is great. Like you said, 86th episode, I think you said. So
86.
It's crazy how far this show has come. It's crazy how far our channels have come. And just thank you to everybody for all the love that you guys always show us.
Yeah, I actually was talking about that last night after the stream, a Giants Alliance and OGR. And I was talking about how, I said Chris and I were just meant to work together. Like that just happened. Sometimes the stars align. Chris called me. We talked for 2 minutes. Recorded the show, and it was good. Right away, people were like, oh, you got great chemistry.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I was talking about how, because they're asking questions about, especially Giants Alliance, because he's got a brand new channel. And he's like, obviously there's a lot of questions to ask. And I said, you just keep doing your thing. People are going to find you. They're going to like you. They're going to tune into what you do. I said, the funny thing is, the first live show Chris and I did, I think we had 9 people in the chat.
It wasn't a lot.
9 people.
Yeah, I can't believe it was that. Was it that few? It might have been.
We couldn't, like, the comments would come in like every 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, I remember I was at work. I remember because I worked nights. I was a cable technician.
Yep.
And the first week something came up for you. Then I called you or you called me, whatever, and we were going to do an edited thing at like 10 o'clock. And you called me. We talked literally for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Got home, and we just went. We didn't even talk much before we started. We just went. And it was a really good first episode. People enjoyed it, and then it just grew from there.
Yeah, so it's insane. Like I said, that it was meant to work together. So where it started to where it is now, it's all because of you guys and girls. I mean, you're in here, you're supporting the channels, you're watching the videos, you're in the live streams, and you're sharing it out. And that's the thing. You guys are telling people about this because we see new people in here every week. So we really do appreciate that. Philly Talk Podcast, thank you for the super chat. Brilly says if you need a new next Eagle for your table, I'm here. I appreciate that. And someday I will definitely be working with you guys. I don't know what I'm doing with this, with that NFC East thing. Like I said, I want to do that. I'm not going to do that every week. Like I said, things are popping up now. I may do one more of those. I have already discussed working with Joey Shakes, so that would probably be the first guy I reach out to on the Eagles. But again, the Eagles are easy for me to get an Eagle. The Cowboys don't have, and one of the Cowboys fans said that they don't have great content creators. They really do. They have some good ones. They have.
I'm working with a Cowboy guy. He's coming on my channel. It's gonna be an edited thing, but he's really good. I don't think a lot of people know about him. He's got a smaller channel, Skywalker Steel. He's really good. I'm looking forward to working with him. But you're right; they don't have a ton. But I'm gonna be doing it. I'm gonna be doing a podcast for NFC. So all year, I'm looking forward to that. Probably won't be live. It'll probably be maybe premiered. But I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, it's just cool to be able to work with content creators that aren't just Giant fans because you get the other perspective.
Right. That's why the last one. I've had a lot of fun doing both of those. I mean, it's just that was awesome. And I wanted to do that all year, but I was using Skype, and then once I figured out StreamYard, which wasn't hard, I was like, oh my God, this is the best. So, actually what I wanted to do is I wanted to tell Scooter Magruder, you want to debate the Daniel Jones Dak Prescott thing. I mean, you come on here and I'll tell you exactly why Daniel Jones is better than Dak Prescott. You want to battle me? I'll tell you, I don't care how many subscribers you have. Bring that to Bridget. As Mendelbaum said in Seinfeld, he said, don't bring that trash into my house. Kevin Wall, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Brilly, my man, he says, I'm happy I found you guys last season. I can't stand any of the crap biased sports networks. That's why YouTube is the new thing, because we're not biased.
Yeah, well, we're biased, but we try not to be, and we don't say the nonsense that you see on ESPN. Right.
We're not edited, but I'm trying to get out of here for 5 minutes, so I'm gonna let you guys go again. Everybody have a happy and safe 4th of July. I can talk. Happy and safe 4th of July. And again, thank you for everything, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Tune in for Chris's live stream on Sunday. And until next time, for the entertainer Talking Sports, the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and we are gone. Peace.